The following program is hosted by immature, irreverent, obnoxious, and often disgusting young men. Listener discretion is advised.
This time on Nude Clan.
Jonah, I'm trying to sneak around, but I'm dummy thick, and the clap of my ass cheeks keep alerting the guards of Nude Clan.
Shall we play a game?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Nude Clan.
The podcast where the hosts look up Lara Croft's ass.
I told you, that character model is fan-fucking-tastic.
Dude, she's pretty hot for a non-real person. Hell yeah.
Dude, I was looking up, I was trying to see if they made any statues, like the past 3 weeks playing all these games.
Yeah. Oh, man. Dude, what did they... Oh, there we go. There's a good one.
Call me the Womb Raider.
Yeah, there's one. Oh, whoa.
Yeah, that's one for Shadow.
Shit. Booty at the Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
That's what's eclipsing the sun in that game.
Yeah. Oh, man.
That Laura ass.
Yeah, she's got a nice fucking ass. Damn,
dude, this is one where Cameron should be here because he'd appreciate the thighs. Yeah,
that's not her ass.
No, that's one of the ink. That's probably a dude too.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of the
ass.
dudes that are wearing the man thongs. Yeah, in the Mayan Incan village.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, there's an art with her in a fucking leopard underwear.
You send that to me. I need it for art.
Yeah, I need it for artistic masturbation. Yeah, dude, she's a pretty hot character. I didn't realize that she was
a thickie,
so fucking awesome looking in these games. I just thought, I don't know what I just thought
dude, all of them, seriously though, all of the games started from definitive, the definitive edition, second one, this one. The character models are fucking great.
Yeah, the graphics on this.
I think they even
so
reduced
good.
her boob size in Shadow of the Tomb Raider from Rise.
Her face when she's going for air when you're in the water.
Yeah. That's a no face.
Yeah, so when you're we'll get this in review, but when you're swimming through the water, you feel air pockets. She's like this. She goes and she's like, and you're like, okay, you didn't have to go that hard, Devs, but you did.
Yeah,
the Lara O face.
Yeah. Well, fuck. Yeah, that's what we're reviewing today. Once again, we are down a host. Not COVID. Another contagious disease, though.
Yeah, strep.
Yeah, Cameron is ill. Streptococcus slid down his throat-a-kai. Yeah.
Now he's got throat herpes.
Yeah, he's got throat herpes. And since, of course, we finish the show up by blowing each other every week, we can't have that.
Yeah,
can't have we can't have
the ritual has to happen. And, I mean,
yeah, we can't we can't fuck each other's throat herpes throats.
No,
yeah.
His throat might be a little tighter though because of the.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, it'd be great for a moment, but then the lasting effects.
Yeah, that's
not
true.
As fun.
Not as great.
He might choke a little harder, and I don't want to do that to him today. He doesn't deserve it.
His airway is already restricted.
Yeah, looking for those lymph nodes, boy.
Yeah, give me them lymph nodes. I love it when the head slides past those lymph nodes. Jesus. we're reviewing which Tomb Raider is it again?
This is the last one of the trilogy.
Yeah, the last of the trilogy, Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Okay, so these are the Square Enix published ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and these I've heard good things about them. I've never played them though. Are they pretty good?
Yeah, they're pretty great. They're more of an adventure style game. They have a lot more combat than the original ones
Yeah,
did.
they're very shooter-esque,
They
which is great.
basically took like the OG Tomb Raider and then mixed it with like Uncharted,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
then added like Metroidvania style shit in there, where like when you get new tools, you can go back to like
Yeah,
other
and open
places
up, like,
and
tombs and
tombs
shit,
and
yeah.
like go explore more shit.
Or like you find like weapon upgrades too that way, like
Yeah.
in like chests and shit. Like you open this old Aztec fucking 2,000-year-old clothes thing, and it's like, you found a shotgun part. Like fuck yeah, they
Wow.
knew what's up.
Yeah, I thought they had like electricity. I didn't realize they had shotguns.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
They had everything.
What the fuck happened to them? I think they found a portal to the present. That's what happened.
They got the flu.
Yeah. Or they just died from the flu.
got
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, those ones. But this one has way less combat and is more focused on like puzzles and shit. So they like kind of went back to their roots a little more with this one.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I mean, the original ones were mostly shooters, right?
Kind of. They're more like platforming puzzle games. There's some combat in there, but like not as much as like they put into the new ones.
And so yeah, like this is Weller supposed to be like the precursor to those because it's like her origin
yeah.
of how she became that Lara Croft.
Yeah. Right before she got the tit job.
Yeah, right before she spiked them out.
Yeah. That like weird.
The
Construction
the
cone
door
tit.
stop. Yeah,
The door jam tit. Yeah.
simpler times.
Simpler times, yeah. Simpler
Herkier,
polygon
some would
counts.
say.
Yeah. I remember playing the demo for the first game, but that's the only Tomb Raider I've ever played. I only played the demo.
Wait for the OG first.
Yeah,
one?
that's it. I remember the controls were kind of tanky, and I was
they
not
are
happy with
tanky, and it is not fun.
that. Yeah, I've thought about buying the collection on Steam like 50 times, but
Yeah, because it's always like $10 for like
Yeah.
9 games.
Oh man, that's what
Yeah,
I'm gonna buy.
dude.
That's what I'm gonna buy when I build my PC.
you're gonna waste it on old ass games. Yeah, that's what I did
yeah.
too.
Yeah, dude, I bought the
This is the way.
collection of that has like I don't remember how many games. It's like 9 or 10 games, and it's like
Yeah.
all of them up to like the first the reboot.
That's pretty sweet. How many Tomb Raider games are there?
There's a lot, man.
I think there's like 8 of the original ones.
And who has the original IP or had it?
I don't remember.
I think it was Eidos, wasn't it?
Was it?
I think Eidos was the one that started it. I know they had it for a while, at the very least.
Well, I don't know who originally had it, but the people who made the reboot is Crystal Dynamics, who I think Square owns because Square is also producing their upcoming game, which is the Avengers.
Yeah,
Which isn't Tomb Raider 4, like a bunch
Yeah.
of pricks.
They should do more Tomb Raider games.
I want them to. These games are fun.
I'm sure they will. I mean, they'll do whatever makes money. Look at what they did
It's
to
been a
Final Fantasy.
while since this one, though. It's been like,
3 or 4 years.
yeah.
Really? It's been that long?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was.
Jeez.
I think it was
Rise of the
2017.
Tomb
wasn't it?
Raider was like one of the first games on Xbox One.
Yeah,
Wow.
but Shadow was 2017, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure Shadow was 2017.
Was it 2017?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll look it up.
Oh, that's crazy.
And I was
Yeah.
like, I've been looking everywhere for a statue. Because I have like my gamer thing.
Yeah.
I want a statue of like this Lara Croft, and there's nothing.
Wow.
It's stupid.
That's weird because usually Square Enix is like all about the marketing,
Right.
the branding of the.
Maybe I'll check the
so
Square
it
Enix
came
store.
out September 12th, 2018, so it's closer than I thought it was.
Okay. That was close.
Yeah, that's crazy. I wonder if I bet you they'll have one on the next gen.
I remember
Maybe.
seeing like the trailer for it, like back like 2 years ago, and I was like, oh, it's sick, but I haven't played any of the other ones because like wasn't Rise like an Xbox One exclusive when it first came out?
It was, yeah. It was a timed exclusive. They made it so it came out in 2015, so 5 years ago for Rise, and that one came out for like a year, I think,
Yeah.
for Xbox, and then it finally came to the PlayStation.
So
Okay.
But when it came to PlayStation, it had like everything, like all the DLCs and shit.
Oh,
so
that's
they made it the definitive edition.
I got them on the summer sale they just had. Is what I like, because they gave the second one for free last month,
Yeah, yeah.
but they didn't do the first one because they're dicks. So I had to buy the first one, and then the third one was on sale for the summer sale. So I just like,
Plowed through.
yeah. But these ones, honestly, I think I'm gonna try to find physical for my collection because
Yeah.
I enjoy them that much.
Nice.
So
Are they better than Uncharted? Do you guys like them more than Uncharted?
I prefer Uncharted,
I like watching her run.
but
So
they're I don't know, they're different games.
yeah, that's a fair assessment.
Because I mean,
So I mean, like in and of itself, Nathan Drake is like the Lara Croft because she did come first,
he's kind of like Indiana Jones, where
and Lara
she's
Croft's
like,
baby. Because his thing is like preservation as well, like with hers, like
I mean, he's
guess
also
Indiana
like
Jones is
a
too.
treasure hunter,
Which,
which
I mean,
guess
she
is
does steal
also,
shit
like,
all the
Lara
time.
Croft, so
Lara Croft of the mac and
Yeah.
cheese dynasty.
Yeah. I always thought that Lara Croft was an Indiana Jones kind of rip-off character. But
I mean, kind of. She's like a treasure hunter rather than like, what is
Yeah,
it?
she'd rather have it like in her house or like her pocket than in a museum.
yeah,
Which I mean, I don't blame.
she's
her
less
for.
preservationist. She's more self.
I mean, like in the games, she does go to be more preservationist though, where she's like, we need to protect like.
There's like a lot of there's
But
a
it's more
lot of
people
stuff-
over actual artifacts.
There's a lot of like stuff that she like sends to museums and stuff, but then a lot more she like keeps in her house.
The Croft Mansion's pretty rad.
Yeah.
I wish I was a rich person.
yeah.
Plus these newer ones,
Same.
especially these newer Tomb Raider games, especially are like more
Well,
like Metroidvania style, where like you go back and do stuff, and they're a lot more open world kind of as well. At least the Shadow and
Rise are the first one's definitely not. Definitely
the
linear,
first one's definitely pretty,
but it's
linear.
great. Like I really, that was really fun.
But
it
yeah,
is linear.
those other ones have like side missions.
Yeah.
They have like random tombs like
Yeah.
in the world that you can just like go do to like get new abilities and attachments for your shit.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much every game is becoming like Metroidvania, and it's not a bad thing. It's I don't know. I think it's fun
Yeah, I don't have
because it's not something you have to do. But if you like, oh man, I got this ability. I remember
Yeah.
this area I could get into now. And you
Yeah.
backtrack and you go get the shit.
Oh yeah.
It's I don't know. It's weird because like so many games are doing that now. But I think it's the right thing to do. It's weird. It adds a lot of replay, and some of it could be like artificially like bloated because of that. Because they're like, oh, we're gonna block this, and then you have to come back.
Right. The thing though is like, what I like with these ones is they're not. They're saying that that's not a problem because they're not blocked. Like
Yeah.
some things are like,
Yeah.
oh, you need this to get through, but you get it in like that same area.
Yeah.
Like, for example, there's you can climb walls, and it gets to the point where you can like crawl up, kind of upside down, like you can scale it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you need something, you can't find it, and then like you jump over to like this ledge and explore a little bit, and you find someone's body that's been like crushed through, and you're like, oh, here's the equipment.
Yeah, and
You
then
found it.
like the second you get the shotgun, there's like a new type wall that it shows you immediately. That's like, hey, this wall can only be destroyed by shooting it with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Or there's other ones that are like, oh, well, you have this ability to like attach a rope to an arrow, so you can like pull something down with it. Various other things like that.
Or use it to was the little like retractor zipline thing, was that in Shadow?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure you had to get it through like a side mission or a two.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I didn't have it.
Yeah, I didn't
the
get
entire
it.
time.
But
That's
I
something
did,
that's
I did
been
see
something that's
see some of
used.
the obstruction stuff that required that to
Sick.
bring it down.
No, it's cool. Just because like it was a main play, like it was a main thing in the first and second one. Like
I
you
think
needed it to get to like the end bosses in both games, and this one didn't.
Rise of the Tomb Raider also had something that allowed you to breathe underwater, which I think Shadow has as well, but I think you have to like find the tomb for it.
Yeah. That would make
So
sense.
there's a lot of tombs that give you like rewards to like if you go like explore for it.
Okay.
And it's not stuff that like you need to like it makes things easier, but it doesn't necessarily. You don't need them to. Like,
it's optional.
Finish the game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. I like how they make it optional so that if you want to just burn through the game for the story or whatever, you can. You don't have to go get all the stuff to beat it. It's not too hard without all the upgrades.
Yeah. It's not like me missing the that fucking Magnum in Resident Evil 3.
Yeah. And it's like you don't need it, but it's. I'll tell you what, the Magnum is fucking great.
God, I'm so mad at myself.
Yeah, especially against
So pissed.
those one like pale heads or whatever they call
the
them.
ones that fucking absorb all of the ammo.
Yeah, and they absorb your fucking life force when they attack you. Yeah, those guys, the Magnum fucks them.
Dude, I'm pissed. I'm so mad. I'm still mad about that. That's something that's why it's not going to be my game of the year this year.
Yeah, it's a pretty sweet game, but
No, that's great.
yeah. All right, so cool. That's a little backstory on that series. Then it's one that I've been interested in playing. I just don't have time. You know.
Yeah, you know, when I started playing I think it was like a year ago when I started playing those games. I was like, yeah, I'll try these, and I fucking loved it, dude. Like, it was so good. And then, like, I was surprised by how good the first one was, and then I played, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and I was like, holy shit, because like Rise of the Tomb Raider, like, improves on literally everything Tomb Raider did.
Yeah.
And Tomb Raider was a fantastic game.
So yeah, Rise of the Tomb Raider is the Empire Strikes Back to the Tomb Raider Definitive Editions: A New Hope. It's so good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wait, so does this one have? Is this
one's
not
a bit
as good?
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
It is, but it's still really good. Like,
Does it have an indigenous population that's really annoying?
Yeah, it does.
yeah, you're right.
There are no Ewoks, but
Are they a smaller version of? Is it like pygmies? It's like a smaller version of.
No,
whatever
but that'd have been rad.
they could have gone with. That would be hilarious. It'd be the exact same thing. It's like, we were just going to do it with normal sized
there's
people,
kind of like
but for the marketing, we went with the pygmies.
there's the zombified kind of people that are like the indigenous group.
Well, there's two. There's two indigenous groups of people in this one.
Yeah, but there's like those other guys that like help you in the end, which would essentially be.
But
like
we
the
should.
Ewoks.
We'll talk about that when we actually review it.
Yeah. So before we get into any of that, though, what has everyone been playing this week? Craig, what's been going on? How's it going?
Shadow of the Tomb Raider and Ghost of Tsushima have been the only two games that I played this week.
Okay, nice. Yeah. It's weird. Everyone's playing Ghost of Tsushima. Very odd.
Actually, yesterday I did play some of that Star Wars pod racer with my brother.
What did you download? Oh, nice.
Huh?
Did you download it?
I bought it on my brother's Switch so that we could play it at his
Oh,
place. I said it last time, I think, but damn, that game holds up.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I bought it like I think when the show was pretty new, so it's been like 3 or 4 years. But I played it for like 4 or 5 hours one day, and I was having a lot of fun. I remember loving the map with like the random snipers.
The first map where you like Sebulba's map,
yeah,
and Anakin, yeah,
and occasionally you'll get fucking shot and you'll just like wipe out.
The snipers don't show up until I think
it's the third lap, isn't it?
No, it's like the harder difficulties.
Yeah,
it's like it's like Mario Kart where there's like the 50cc, 100cc, and then like 150cc. It's like that, and they start showing up, I think, on the last lap of the 100cc one, like the middle road one, and then they're like always there on the harder one.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Fucking Tusken Raiders, dude.
Yeah.
The one guy that I love playing, he's like a glass cannon. Fucking
which
like,
one do you play as?
Fucking I can't remember his name, but he's like fast as shit.
What does he look
and
like?
He's like he's like a tiny dude whose tail has like a bunch of balls on it.
That's who I usually play as.
And his like
Tinto Pagalis?
his like ship is like really tiny, but it's got like a rudder.
Is it like the circular one? The circular cockpit? It's got a little rudder at the end of it.
But it's like kind of flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Team Topaz.
That's who I usually play.
He's
as
good.
Too.
He's way good.
Yeah, he's super fast, but he's like if you touch anything.
Oh yeah, he's fucked.
You're fucking
dies.
I'm telling you, like he's got a bigger pod, but Mars Woe kicks ass as well.
Yeah, he's a good one.
Mars Woe is good, but I always did Clay Holdfast. That was always like my.
Yeah, he's a good one
jam.
too. Man, I freaking love that game.
I just remember playing that when I was I was probably like 12, and we would go to like a babysitter's house, and they had that game, and I just played the fuck out of it like all day.
So I still have it on my N64 in my house.
Nice, yeah. I've got the N64 one too.
I highly recommend getting it for the Switch because
Really?
like it's super good.
Yeah.
They touch up the graphics are updated so that you can. It's still N64 graphics, but they look cleaner and stuff. So like they brightened it up and whatever. It's like crisper, and it runs at like higher frame rate. So it's like it's much smoother. Oh man,
Damn,
that game, it's so good.
I might have to download it.
If you've ever thought, you know what Star Wars Pod Racer could use some fucking drift. You pick it up on that Switch, right there. You thought, what would make this game 10% better is if I couldn't control at all. Just chaos. It's just chaos out there. Yeah, and then there you go, Nintendo Switch.
Did you ever play Pod Racer 2: Racer's Revenge?
Uh-uh.
I haven't either, but apparently it's on the PS4 store.
Oh, really? Well, I never played anything with that.
Is that supposed to be a sequel to that one?
Yeah, it was on PS2.
Oh, fuck, really?
Yeah.
I never knew that game had a sequel. What the fuck?
Oh, wait, you know what? I think I remember seeing that one time.
I never played it
because
because I was
what
still
the
playing the
fuck?
N64, and I'm like, man, fuck them, I got this.
Yeah.
Like,
There's a lot of great Star Wars games out there.
I'll
It's-
have to check it
pretty
out,
sweet.
but it's kind of hard to believe that they can improve.
no, I mean, like, if it's like multiplayer to 4, we should get it. Like, 100%.
Like the Rogue Squadron and then like Clone Wars.
Rogue
on the,
Squadron's so good.
Yeah, there's some good like 2 generations ago Star Wars games out there. Like,
Dude, is it Dark Empire?
Is it on the Switch?
Shadow of the Empire. No, the one on N64.
I don't think I saw.
I don't think that
played
one's on the Switch.
No. We're just talking about good Star Wars games. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I think it's.
So where you start on Hoth, you play as Dash Rendar.
Yeah, it's either Shadow of the Empire or Dark Empire or something. I
I think it's Dark. I think it's like Shadow of the Empire or something like that. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, that one's I think technically like the first in that Jedi Knight series.
Was that really? I didn't know that was the first one.
I think it's like a part of that. Yeah.
Oh. I know they just
Because like Kyle Katarn or whatever like is in the second game, like Dark Forces 2.
Yeah, but the guy isn't Kyle Katarn in that one. It's Dash Rendar.
I know, but like he's in the sequel to that game.
Oh. Didn't they just released on PS4s and the new consoles was the Jedi Academy 2 and the Jedi Outcast.
Yeah, they put in Jedi Academy and Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, which
Sick.
I fucking love Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast.
I've been tempted to buy that one too. Just play it.
Nice. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones out there. Bounty Hunter. I mean, classic.
No. Batman is shit.
Dude, I want Force Unleashed to get a remaster.
That would be sweet.
Like, well,
I would like a
graphics
combo
update.
of like Force Unleashed and Force Unleashed 2.
Oh yeah, so it's Force Unleashed and Force Unleashed 1.5 DLC.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because that's essentially what it
it's
is.
5 fucking hours.
Oh, it's less than that. I beat that game in 4 hours. The night it released.
Yeah.
And then I beat it on the hardest difficulty in 5 hours.
Did it? That pissed me off because like I spent more time because like so right before that one came out, I replayed the original, and I just like spent so much time. 'Cause I got all the crystals, all the costumes, everything. Like I 100% of that game, and then I played. I'm like so excited, and then I'm like, this game fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like so mad.
That's what I did. I bought Gun. I don't know if you guys have ever played Gun.
Yeah.
That game's fucking awesome. But I bought it on like a Friday night, and I had the next day off, and I returned it the next morning because I did everything except for I had like 2 piles of gold that I could mine, but I was like, I don't even need the gold. So I like 100%ed the game, and I was like, returning. He's like, oh, did you not like it? I was like, no, I loved it. There's just nothing left. I 100%ed it in like a night. Game's over. Like I kind of want to trade it in for something else now.
Listen, game crazy.
Yeah. Look, don't fuck with me.
Don't fuck with me.
It's a great game, and I loved scalping people in this game. It's so brutally violent. But it's like 7 hours for every piece of content. And then Red Dead Redemption did everything it did better. So I like when Red Dead Redemption came out, I was like, yes, this is happening.
Red Dead Redemption is great.
Yeah. But that reminds me of that, though. It's like it's just so short, and it's like, well, I had a good time, but Jesus Christ,
dude! I beat that. Like it came when I went to the midnight release for Force Unleashed 2, and I started playing it, and then I beat it, and it was like 4:30 in the morning.
You're just like, oh, motherfucker.
I was like, oh,
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
And you paid $60 for that fucking thing.
yeah.
Ooh, man, that is rough.
It's especially a letdown considering the fact that the original Force Unleashed is like 20 hours. The game is fucking long.
The original
Yeah.
is so good, though.
It is. I've played like every version of it.
Yeah, I played that one, and then I played the one.
The
on,
Wii
like,
one
PS2.
is very different.
Well, that's the
from
one.
PS3 one.
Well, so the Wii one is the exact same one that's on PS2. So those two, yeah. So those two are a little bit more. Cause they're a little shorter because they take some stuff out. But they're the same. It's the PSP, PS2,
the Wii one also had
and
like
the Wii, and then
multiplayer combat mode.
really, I never did that.
Yeah,
But then, yeah,
we can, like, fight
Xbox
each other with the force powers.
360, PS3, and PC had the same game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they used to do that all the time, but now it's kind of like, if it's not the same, it's just not there, you know?
No, 100%.
Yeah, and I kind of miss that, though. You know, like the old Harry Potter games, they would do, like, here's the PC game, here's the Game Boy game, here's the PlayStation 1 game, and they're all different games. It's like, I don't know, that's pretty cool, because then you could play all of them, and it's like, well, yeah, it's Harry Potter Year 1, but damn, the games are totally different.
Right. Well, they did the same thing with like Return of the King and the Two Towers and Fellowship of the Ring because they were all different on Game Boy Color or Game Boy Advance,
all different.
and then like on, then they're on like the main consoles.
Those fucking games are awesome.
Dude, Return of
too.
the King and so good.
I fucking loved Two Towers. I played. I got everything in that game.
Dude,
Everything
yeah, that's,
that there was.
That's how I was with Return of the King.
I fucking love it.
Playing as playing as fucking Gandalf on the walls is so just kicking.
Yeah,
my
it's
ball.
awesome.
You know what? That's what I'm gonna have to. I don't know where that is. I'm gonna have to try to find that and replay that.
Those fucking games are so good, dude. It's ridiculous.
I've been going back like through like those ones on like my Game Boy Advance SP because I've been playing like the Episode 3 game and stuff like that just because they're fun.
Yeah,
All little platformers. And
yeah. Man, I miss those. I miss those Lord of the Rings like movie games. Like the I loved kicking the ladders down on the Helm's Deep fight.
Just, like make sure like they're like halfway up and you're like fuck.
Yeah,
Lord.
watch them fucking fall
Yeah.
because they're just holding onto the ladder like dying. It's awesome.
That's so good. Oh, those guys are fun.
And getting like the ultimate, like your blades like start glowing and then
Oh,
you
yeah.
just fucking kill.
Ooh.
Man, and all the alternate shit that you can get. God damn.
Dude, I like playing as Gandalf the White because he uses his sword and his staff. Like,
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
sick.
Yeah, that third one was a lot of fun. I rented it, but I played the shit out of it. The only part that I hated was when you were playing as Aragorn and you were fleeing from the caverns with the old kings, and like the rocks were falling down. That was bullshit.
I agree.
Because like you can't see shit, and then suddenly you're on the ground getting fucking crushed by a 2-ton rock.
Oh.
Yeah, but man, those fuckers. It's a good time. Yeah, we got to find those again.
I have Return to the King.
Oh, do you?
With my
Okay.
Xbox. Yeah, I was thinking about it. I think I have it like with my.
I never played those console ones. I played the Game Boy Advance ones though.
I have Return of the King for that one too. I don't have Two Towers, and I want that one for Game Boy.
Nice. Yeah, that Helm's Deep was a pretty iconic one.
It is. It's just fun because like the movie you're like watching as a kid and just blows your fucking mind.
Yeah.
And you got to play it. It's
Yeah.
so good. That's how I felt too with the Battle of Gondor. 'Cause I was like, oh my god, I'm here.
Yeah, it's sweet. All right, what about you, Zach? What have you been playing?
So, let's see. I gotta think. Ghost of Tsushima. Played a bunch of that. I played a shit ton of Fall Guys this week with a couple of our listeners.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who was the fall guy? Have you guys won yet? Have you won a...
I've won a crown, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good job.
But it just, I mean, when we play, like a few drinks in, so it's not as uniform as it should be.
Yeah.
But did that just for the walls. I played Shantae Half Genie Hero, and I restarted just this morning. We were watching you play a little bit of Suikoden 2. I restarted Fire Emblem Three Houses to do a new route.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, watching you play that, I was like, I'm gonna play an RPG
Yeah.
Played
Very
fucking
nice.
Dragon Quest 11.
because Dragon Quest isn't a real game.
Yeah, it is. Fucking play 11, bitch.
Is it on Switch?
Yeah.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, the definitive editions. On
Fuck.
Switch.
Okay, I was actually gonna look for Dragon Quest games when we were sitting there.
11 is like the best one to start with, I think. 11 and 8 are like the two peak jump on points.
Yeah, I'll see how much it is. I'll probably just snag her. But the Samurai Jack game came out Friday too, and I still haven't downloaded that. And I really want to play the Samurai Jack game
Yeah.
because apparently it's a platformer as well, which does it for me.
Nice.
That's how they're ending the show, by the way, is with that Samurai Jack.
Yeah, because they
It has
were
like the ending for like the whole show.
I think it's because the last season was pretty divisive, like the actual last season, because the way they ended it was kind of I don't know, kind of shitty.
Yeah, I watched that show for a little while.
Samurai Jack is awesome.
I gotta play as Samurai Jin first, and then
Yeah, and goes to Tsushima.
yeah, I beat that.
And then Samurai Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could win. Win in a fight. Probably Samurai Jack, but he's a little unrealistic.
Probably Samurai Jack, but
he's a little ridiculous. So
I mean, he also is immortal and had 40 years of training across all the different continents.
Oh, dude, I really hope this you go back in time with that one because I want the Scotsman.
Dude,
so bad.
The Scotsman, I missed that.
Did you see his character model for the new season?
I saw his death in season 5, and I was like, oh,
dude, all his daughters.
In such a great way.
He's got
oh man,
he's got like 1 million daughters and his Valkyries. It's rad. He's got like a machine gun leg too. It's like hell. He's like in his wheelchair. And he's all covered up the whole time, and he's like going. And the guy's coming. He fucking takes his blanket off, lifts his leg up, but it's this giant Gatling gun. It's fucking rad.
nice. All right, so I have been playing. I'm pretty sure the only thing I played was Suikoden 2. I am at the final boss. I died to the final boss earlier today, just testing the waters. And, of course, I didn't have all my mana, and I stupidly just rushed forward and bah!
What if that's not the final boss?
Pretty.
He's going to be in the same boat as Cameron. It's like, I have 4 more hours.
Yeah, pretty sure it is the final boss.
It seemed pretty final bossy.
You know what? I thought the same thing with Fire Emblem, though, and then there was 3 more bosses. So, hold on to your tits.
Those RPGs love their bossception.
Well, they also love the multiple transformation bosses.
Yeah, they
Dude,
love it.
By the way, Xenoblade Chronicles does that too.
God damn it.
JRPGs, baby!
They do that twice. There's 2 really big bosses that have 3 transformations.
Yeah, I want to make a list of my rankings of the RPGs that I've played for this podcast. I was thinking about this the other day. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Just
a list of all the RPGs we played
for this show specifically.
Oh, specifically,
and
for
then
Nude
rank
Clan?
them.
And then rank our the best RPGs that we have played.
It's not a bad idea. We should do that.
Specifically for the show.
Because
if it would be all time, there'd be way more.
Yeah, for the show, I would say. I think it'd be fun.
Are you gonna break them up into Western and JRPG? You're just throw them all together.
I'll probably just throw them together. It's the only Western one I played. I played, I guess.
Red Dead 2.
Yeah. I don't know if that's an RPG though. It's got a lot of RPG stuff in it, but
Wait, which one?
I thought we decided if it has a fishing minigame.
Red Dead 2.
Oh,
Isn't that just sandbox? I mean, I would say the 2 big ones
yeah,
are
Red Dead is the sandbox.
Shut up, Chris.
Skyrim and Witcher 3. Those are the 2 that are Western that I played.
Oh, that's one I'm gonna.
Fable.
I need to play as Skyrim. I always say that. I haven't played
Fable
that.
as well.
Oh yeah, Fable. All 3 Fables.
And
yeah.
Diablo.
Oh my god, yeah, and all 3 Diablos. Okay, most of it's Western RPGs actually. It's actually, I think I might have actually played more Western RPGs than Japanese
show,
RPGs.
probably, yeah.
It's got to be close at the very least. But I'll just throw them all in together because I don't care. They're all RPGs. I think it'd be fun though. Maybe we'll do an episode of review or ranking our reviews, the games that we've reviewed. I think that'd be fun. Not all of them, but just certain genres. And then bantering back and forth, just over our picks, because we've done a decent amount of those. Oh, we could do one for shooters, and it's a 10-minute episode, and then we just get out of here early. I think Black Ops, I think Modern Warfare is the best. Oh yeah, me too. Oh, cool. All right, guys, see you next
For
week.
shooters?
No, we've done
Like
more than
Doom,
Modern
bro.
Warfare.
Yeah, that's true. That's
We've
true.
got Doom. Alice is technically a shooter.
God.
Fucking what else have we played? Shooter.
Wolfenstein. That was one.
Wolfenstein. God damn it, the game.
Dude, then the other one is supposed to be even worse.
We fucking played Parasite Eve 2, which I count as a shooter,
Yeah.
not as a fucking RPG.
Resi 2, 3, and 7. I guess we would count as shooters too if we're counting
Yeah.
Parasite
I was gonna
Eve.
say, yeah.
I wouldn't put that in that genre personally, but if we're gonna put
that one's it's survival horror.
if we're gonna put Parasite Eve in there, then whatever.
Yeah.
No, Parasite Eve 2, I guess, is survival horror.
Okay. Resi 7, it is a survival horror, but there's a lot of shooting near the end. Like, the end is like a first-person shooter.
Oh, yeah.
It's weird.
Like the very end, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're playing Condemned.
Like from the
suddenly.
ship on is first-person shooter,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's Condemned, too. It's what it is. There's tar everywhere. There's fucking dudes popping out of it, and you're shooting them.
But there's no toilet seats.
No toilet seats, yeah. Not that you can rip off and wield.
God, I want to
At
play
least.
Well, because you
again.
switch characters, don't you? Are you talking about Resi 7?
Right, yeah.
Who made
Yeah, 'cause you
Condemned
switch
2?
characters
We
too,
need to
yeah.
get them to do a remaster.
I know, yeah. That game was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Dude, the online for that game, you remember fucking...
Yeah,
doing
I
that?
do. I do. It was a fucking blast. Like, I would like find dudes, and then like instead of fighting, I would back up and then like flash my flashlight at them, like, and then they would just look at me and then like flash theirs, just, and then we just disperse, just run off in other directions. It was like code. It's code for let's be peaceful and go kill somebody else. I loved those random games online that like 10 people played.
yeah, dude.
That and then that fucking Delta Force Black Hawk Down game. It's like suddenly everyone would break out in a knife fight. Like I would come into a room, there'd be another guy in the room, he'd start shooting me, I'd like crouch and jump a few times and swipe my knife, and then he just stops. And then he pulls out his knife, and then he starts slashing me, and then like fucking like 20 dudes just come in the room, and we're all just fucking ripping the knives around. Such a blast. But like there's like 30 people that played it ever, you know what I mean? It's just those little tiny communities of awesomeness.
Oh, man, we should do like an episode where we review like multiplayer games.
I know, we talked about that years
Or
ago.
like the multiplayer of games.
Yeah.
That way we could review like the Nightfire and like European Assault.
Yeah, how would we do that? Because it's like, I mean, we could review the multiplayer separately as just like a recount of our fun, but because I feel like
multiplayer functions in games work differently from like the main campaigns of games.
yeah,
Like Doom specifically, that one's a lot more like Quake, and it's like multiplayer than it is like in like single player game.
yeah, and it suffers for it, but you know, there's
This
still
is why
fun.
we didn't review the multiplayer aspect.
Yeah, I just feel like we should probably just review the multiplayer aspect, and then just have it as a big chunk of gameplay. But I don't know. It's tough, though, because then it's like with Doom, it's like, well, to what degree do we count the multiplayer against the game? Because the game's gameplay
the
is
multiplayer
amazing.
would count in replayability, I feel like.
Oh, I
rather
think that's what
than-
we decided, actually.
Yeah. Rather than like being part of like the main campaign, because
Yeah.
it's like a story and stuff, and the gameplay is like consistent, so you'd have to have
Yeah.
to put it in the replayability.
I think that's fair, yeah. But I think we overrode that with how fucking good the game was anyway, so like, it didn't
Pretty
matter
much.
that the multiplayer kind of sucked.
I mean, yeah, it's not a multiplayer that I prefer, but I mean, it's still the gameplay of Doom. So
Yeah, it is. So yeah, like I said, all I've done is Suikoden 2. At the final boss, I will be beating that after we record this podcast. Cameron, of course, is not here, like we mentioned earlier, and we have to have it. I mean, it's got to get done, man.
I mean, like with the track you guys are on next week, definitely seems like it's gonna be the viable.
if Cam is like 4 hours away from the end, and you're like at the end, then it should be close.
Yeah, so you can look forward to that next time. Even though I said that last time and the time before and the time before.
And the time before.
Yeah. But, guys, the only question that anyone really cares about, has anyone beaten a game this week?
Yeah, I beat Ghost of Tsushima and Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Man, you need to go get laid.
What did you say? I need to get laid?
Yeah.
You're right.
You're right.
Ghost and Shadow?
Ladies, any volunteers?
Yeah.
A for you?
Nah, I don't need A4.
You sure?
All right. What about...
You'd have to come out here first, and that's...
What about you, Zach?
Didn't.
I also did not beat a game this week. So, the throne has been retaken by King Hog of the years past, Caleb Craig. 17 games, 16 for Zach, and Cameron and I are tied at a pitiful, sad,
cuckoldry,
flaccid 9 games apiece.
That's at least a game a month, just over. And I'm double that, and so is Zach.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna hit you.
I thought you were going to try and slap me. I was like, what the fuck?
Did you beat anything this week? Yeah, Craig's ass.
Yeah. Craig's big ass.
God, I can't believe you flipped.
Oh, you like raised your hand like as soon as I mentioned that I was double what they were.
Then
like,
you said and
you were
Zach.
Like, oh,
You said and Zach. So I was gonna give you a high five. I don't beat him, Twitch. I don't hit him. I've never hit him.
I think it was
The only
just skin
time I've
color
ever
made
hit
me
him
flinch.
is when he asked for it.
Yeah, it was from behind and it was consensual.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys missed my racist joke.
What did you?
Oh. Darn it. Jesus.
Now we'll have to listen to the episode up to this point just to hear it.
Yeah. All right. So, what questions do we have for this week, guys? What's going on in the questions segment?
All right, so the first one that we got is... oh, shit. It scrolled down from where I was. All right, it's from... Jesus, this is his name. FTXFIII. You each have complete control over the next game to come out in your favorite series. What kind of game would you make it, and how would it be similar or different to the previous game or entire series? For example, the next Zelda game would revolve predominantly around having mech fighter elements, wherein you control 4 of the beasts of the Breath of the Wild to fight Ganon and the other evils of Hyrule.
That's pretty sweet, actually. You just you link up with Zelda, and it's like Pacific Rim. And you're like, like the machines
Dude,
are
a
just,
Legend
like,
of
walking.
Zelda that has like fucking Voltron elements would be sweet as shit.
Oh, Zelda, our neural link.
I mean, they already make like every Legend of Zelda like way different from the others. So like they totally could have like mech shit in there, and nobody would bat an eye.
A futuristic Zelda.
I mean, it's kind of what it is. Like those beasts are like the fucking all robotic.
Oh, really? I've never played. I haven't played Breath of the Wild. So
Oh,
I
you
don't
haven't played
know.
Breath of the Wild? Yeah, they're basically just giant.
It's on the
robots.
list, but it hasn't happened yet.
So if they like fucking Voltroned up to fight like giant pig Ganon, that would be fucking sweet.
He's just a giant kaiju.
Yeah, dude.
So, what series would you pick?
Pacific Rim it.
What series would you pick, Craig? Is this supposed to be your favorite series?
God damn, I don't know.
That's such a broad question because I have many favorite series, and I'm like, I really dig these games.
Yeah. If I were to make the next 50 Cent game, what I think I would
Oh man, the next 50 Cent game? Oh.
I think I would make 50 Cent the president of the United States, and he would single-handedly go win like combat situations in the Middle East or wherever we happen to be.
Who would the villain be?
It would just be abroad. It would be the war on terrorism. But
You should have Kanye West like switch sides halfway through because it makes it personal at the end.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Kanye West is his VP, and he like betrays 50.
Like he shoots Yeezy like into his wife or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And you're like,
How could you do
it's
it?
gonna be blood on the sand. It's like a tagline in Qatar.
Dude,
or
it'd
something like that.
it'd have to be like 50 Cent is like the leader of the race war.
Yeah.
He fights for the user.
He
though.
rise up in New York, just starts like mowing down white people,
Or you could have him go to a different
and,
place.
you collect like various famous black people along the way.
Martin Luther King Jr. power up and stuff like that. It's like blood on the cobblestones. Like you take him to England or something.
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah. I think that's.
But they live inside of him. That's like a power up. So
I
like,
carry the spirits of my people.
it's like Star City. I'm all the Sith, and he's like, I'm all the black people.
Oh, that's
It's
why
just
he needed the
great.
diamond encrusted skull from fucking Blood on the Sand.
Yeah.
So he could do that.
He like goes to punch, and it's like Muhammad Ali like shows up like in his like just aura, and it's
Yeah, and then you still get to taunt as 50. Just
bitch.
God,
Yeah.
dude, that is the best part of that game.
yeah.
I wish I could make it so he only said bitch.
Yeah, he says it a lot in that fucking game, but yeah, dude, I that's what I would do if I was
Get
making
that
the next.
fucking G-Unit revolver again.
Yeah. If I were making the next 50 Cent game, I would make it. I'd make it. He's president, and there's a conflict between him and Kanye West, and there's like a plot to kill 50, and he basically has to just kill everybody that's trying to kill him. And it's similar. I'd make it similar to Blood on the Sand. I'd make it kind of like a Gears of War kind of game. Maybe
50 Cent is like a arcade.
it's like an arcade cover shooter thing.
Because I mean, there are power ups, which is why that.
Yeah. So I think I would probably just make it like Blood on the Sand, honestly, because I think there aren't very many games that do that anymore. Like I know Bulletstorm is kind of one of them.
Yeah, Bulletstorm. You know, if they did a 50 Cent game that was more like Bulletstorm, that would be pretty sweet.
Or like The Crew. Did you ever play that game?
No, I haven't played that one.
I think it's called The Crew or The Club. And that's what it is. You're just running around the map, and it's like a arcade shooter, and it's really fun.
Huh.
But I think I would do another one. G Unit USA is what they call it. 50 Cent's G Unit USA. He's got like his G Unit as like his cabinet.
G Unit's the cabinet.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do, man. It's.
Oh, Gabriel Jones says Grand Theft Auto Belfast set in 1972.
Wouldn't that just be Mafia 3?
I
If
think
it's Belfast, you're going to be fighting like it'd be the two warring Irish factions,
Oh.
which could be
Yeah.
really fun.
I think one of the Grand Theft Auto Londons, that might be one of those. I know they had some UK Grand Theft Autos early on, like in between 1 and 2.
Oh,
I think
interesting.
maybe
I didn't
2. Yeah.
Interesting.
I wonder if that's what those are about. I don't know, but or what about it's like 50 Cent finds a time machine and he goes back and he kills Hitler.
Or
Dude.
he goes back. He goes back to the Civil War,
Oh, man.
and it's you hunting down Confederates.
Oh, that'd be pretty sweet.
50 Cent, 50 in time.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
You hate time plots.
I do. But it's so ridiculous that I can look past it.
But I love 50 Cent.
I mean, I don't. But
Like it's gotta
didn't hate it either.
it's gotta start out with him just unloading on like Robert E. Lee. Like it's just sitting there and it's just you want
And
more,
he's gone.
bitch? Yeah, yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Yeah.
And you can only go back and forth in time to get more ammo and stuff for like upgrades.
Oh, man.
Yeah, in between levels.
It's like they got a cannon. I got a Black Hawk helicopter. You just like come back and just it'd be great.
Yeah, you just bring the fat racist guy from our game. It's just like 50, just flying by, doing the strafe runs. I got your back, 50. Yeah, that'd be a fucking sick game. I'd play the shit out of that game. We don't have any Civil War games. Like we got the ones like the History
The
Channel.
Assassin
one.
Creed one.
Oh, that's
3.
true. Yeah. Nah, it's it's.
They need to just fucking reboot Assassin's Creed.
They pretty much did though
Yes,
with the
no.
RPG
I mean,
ones.
they're
It was a
keeping,
soft
like,
reboot at best, but I mean,
Well,
they
for
did.
gameplay wise,
Is it
like,
soft
the
or is it
story-
hard as fuck?
I was.
I
hard
mean,
as fuck.
gameplay wise, it's a hard reboot, but like story wise, they're like continuing on, and they
Okay.
have no
Yeah,
idea what the
that's
fuck
fair.
they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, they're literally making.
I mean,
it up as
technically,
they go.
Origins is a brand new character, like straight up brand new. Doesn't have anything to do with any of the other ones.
Yeah, it does.
Does it really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't play Origins. I just kind of assumed. I assumed from
I
like
mean,
the
by
one
a-
cutscene I got in the
So
the Greek one.
So, like, there in Assassin's Creed 2, there's like a super armor you can get. That's like Darius's armor. He's
Yeah.
the character that you meet if you play the DLC for
Okay,
Odyssey.
but like, I mean, like,
and he's the father of Bayek's.
okay, but like,
wife,
but like,
or, like,
and-
grandfather
but I mean,
or
like
something.
any of like like, I almost said human characters. Not what I meant. But like the now people, like
yeah, the current era.
the current era, are those two chicks in any of the other games that aren't related to the Origins and stuff?
No,
Okay, see, that's a reboot
not that I know.
because it cut off like.
But they still have all that shit from before, though. Like they're still teamed up with the assassins, and they're going up against.
But
the
still, I mean,
warriors.
it's still kind of a soft reboot. I
That
mean-
is, they tell 5 seconds of a story in the future, though. They're like,
Yeah, it's
oh,
okay,
well,
fuck
we
'em. I don't
gotta-
want
we gotta
the- I
gather
don't-
this information.
I don't
It's
want
like,
the future shit.
Well, then why are they doing it? That's the thing. It's like the whole idea is that these people are like going to the past to learn shit so they can do something in the future.
So,
and then they don't ever do it.
So they really don't ever do the thing that they were trying to do?
So here's the thing.
Wow, that's fucking lame.
I forgot what I was playing. When I was playing Odyssey, and it shot me out. I was like, what the fuck is this? Oh. Oh yeah!
Oh yeah!
There's
Like-
people in this machine.
I forgot. Yeah, isn't that? I've always kind of wished that they didn't do that.
Me too, because it pissed
It
me
made
off.
sense for the original Assassin's Creed because the whole idea was to train Desmond to do something in
To get killed in the fourth
at some
game.
point in the future, and then they fucking killed him off because they fired the creative guy who made Assassin's Creed, and then they were like, "We have no idea what the fuck to do," and so they just kept doing it and being like, "Well, let's just make it up as we go
Because like
along."
with Odyssey, like when you start, you're just Cassandra or the dude, and you don't change until you find the Staff of Leonidas or the spear, and so the whole time you're like, "That's getting Brox." What the fuck? It's so jarring.
yeah,
I didn't know they killed Desmond.
yeah, they
Oh,
kill
yeah.
him in like the end of 3.
What's the point of the games then?
There's not.
There's not a point.
It's-
They literally fired the guy who created Assassin's Creed, who was making the story for Assassin's Creed.
he didn't have a shadow writer.
He ended Desmond's story in 3 because like they were firing him. So he was like,
the balls on him was like, fucking kill him. I don't care.
"It is." So he's like, "Fuck it, fine.
Fuck
Go
you
ahead."
You want to
story.
fire me? You want to fire me? Huh?
And so,
You'll
yeah,
be cursed for years.
That's why they like moved on, and so they made it so that in 4, the whole point of 4 is like there's they were able to
That's
make it
Kenway,
so
right?
other people could access the memories of like other people's ancestors.
See, that's
Which
bullshit.
is why in 4 you're playing as some random Abstergo employee who plays through like Desmond's family line with Edward Kenway.
the whole point was that you were playing your ancestors.
But
though.
then
Yeah.
with this new one, Origins, in this one, she's playing her ancestors, isn't she?
She did in Origins, but not in.
I thought she said she was related to Cassandra
Odyssey.
in some way.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure she's related somehow.
yeah, okay, yeah, she is because Cassandra or Alexios, depending on who you play as,
I
is
trust
like
the chick.
the father of Aya's mother. In Origins, and Aya is Bayek's wife, and Bayek is the founder of the Assassins.
Oh yeah, okay.
man, that's bullshit that they.
So they're kind of getting back to it, but they
Yeah.
were lost for a very long time.
But see, are the new ones? Are they in the Nexus thing or whatever?
yeah,
They're still in the Animus, yeah.
Really?
But the stories that they're focusing
But-
on are like the past stuff, like what the ancient assassins were doing, rather than like what the future assassins.
but
are
like
doing.
it hasn't like
And
like
they really need to make a game that's just the future assassin stuff, so people know what the fuck is going on.
right, but like as well with Odyssey. Like I was saying, that one time you get jumped out with like the spear is the only time I've been out of the Animus. So like I forgot what I was playing because I was in there for so long.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's
Break
only
stuff.
2 parts where you play as that chick in the future.
So like
in Origins.
they really do like focus on the good story, and I think I'm enjoying Odyssey. I want to jump back into it and beat it because I had to stop because of The Last of Us fucking 2. But
Yeah,
game of the year.
Yeah. Well, cool.
What game, wait, so what game would you do? Did you even say?
What would you do, fucker?
I don't know. I'm trying to jump around it. Ah, fuck. Because I'm kind of salty about the DC Dome thing yesterday. I'd make an actual legit sequel to either Arkham Knight, or I'd continue Origins and do another sequel to that because I'd like to see.
There's a lot more Batman stuff that they could do. In
Yeah,
that
exactly.
world, yeah.
And the Arkham series is one of my all-time favorite series. Like, I collect all the action figures for it and everything.
I kind of didn't like the way they ended Night.
We can talk about that when we review it.
That's true. We can.
I guess for future reference, we and Craig decided because they showed Gotham Knights and the Suicide Squad game reveal that we're gonna probably this year, or at least into next year. Like we're gonna
At some
when we get
point.
time, we're gonna start
at some point,
replaying
yeah, we're gonna do
through the Arkham games.
Batman games. Yeah.
No, because with Origins, I've always wanted a sequel to it because with that and the DLC, so the DLC threw a lot of stuff into the DLC hints at Jonathan Crane.
Yeah.
And there's different things, and I wanted it to be more of the long Halloween, where we get Two-Face's origin.
Kind of
I
what
wanted
happens
it to be.
with Arkham Asylum in a way. I'm pretty sure they said Arkham Asylum was like inspired by
Really? Because
Halloween.
I mean, I guess, but not really because
It's less of a detective story, but it's more like it has like most of those villains.
then it's basically Hush.
I mean,
like if we're gonna go like by that, but I mean, like what I would like to see is I want to see the downfall because I want Harvey Dent to like be like the final boss in the game because I want him to be like helping you as Harvey Dent, and then you have to fight him at the end, but a legit boss fight.
That would be sweet.
Like with a gang and everything, and then like have like Black Mask in there too, where it's like his thing. So I think it'd be fun to have him like running from
actually have Black Mask.
Yeah, and like have him like when he like runs for mayor, like in the comics, like it'd be a fun little side thing to like throw in and be like, oh, he's here, and then actually burn his mask to his face because no one fucking does that in any medium besides his origin comic.
Yeah,
but there's things where I'm like, I want to see more people's origins. And like how certain people built it, because like the crime, you don't destroy the crime families in Origins, and they're nowhere. They're not in any of the games because like it's like the comics where they have their fall.
Yeah, I don't know. I've only played.
Shut up, Salty Sunken. This would be gritty. That's a deep cut. We were talking the other day about this stuff.
Yeah,
just being a bitch.
I've only done the first 2 Batman games.
Arkham Knight's fun.
Asylum and City.
I have problems with Knight, but it's fun.
Yeah, Night. Yeah, too much Batmobile.
Yeah,
those 2 games are basically on par with each other. I'd say. I mean, City is those more.
City's my favorite. I think I've like all
City
of them.
is my favorite. Yeah,
yeah, it was a pretty good game
with like the DLC and then those like extra bosses that you can go do are pretty fucking sweet.
City or Night?
In City.
Which ones? Oh, like the Black Mask one and stuff.
Yeah, and doing like Deadshot and like the.
I didn't know
boss
Deadshot
fight.
was a DLC.
Oh, he's not a DLC, but he's like.
Oh,
an
you
extra
talking about
boss
side
that,
missions?
Yeah, the side
okay, sorry. I thought you were talking about. I'm like, I never DLC because the Black Mask one is a DLC for Arkham City, and it's like when he escapes the first time.
Yeah,
but yeah, no. But I really liked. So we're going back on that, like the Arkham Knight. Did you play the Most Wanted ones?
Yeah,
so sick, dude. Like they're all fun. The Killer Croc one is great. The Rachel Gould one is great.
It helps with the lack of boss fights.
Agreed. And like they should have just thrown them in.
Yeah,
and like, and I hate Mad Hatter, but I liked his mission in. I thought it was fun. The storybook one where he like drugs you and you have to like save the cops from the different cars.
Oh, okay, that's different from when he was in City.
Yeah, because City, he just kidnaps that Alice chick.
Yeah, and then you have to. Yeah, okay.
That one's so that one is probably the one that disturbed me the most. Because you're like, hey, it's gonna be all right, and she just starts crying. You're like, oh, I'm gonna go now. I gotta send you to shame.
I think I hear the bets.
But yeah, I would want to make a sequel to Arkham Origins and just do all that. Like, it's kind of a cop out, but I can't think. Because like the only other one I'd be is like, oh yeah, God of War, and like, but 4 is perfect.
Yeah,
like 4 did exactly what it needed to be. So as long as they continue that, like there's nothing to expound upon because they're just great.
Yeah, maybe like a new universe. If you had control over the next series, the next trilogy of God of War, where would you put?
I would have done Norse though, like 100%. They did exactly what I would have done.
I think Egypt would be fucking sweet.
Well, because there's things for Egypt.
Egypt
have
would
you
be
found,
sweet.
Did you find those?
Japan would be sweet.
Yeah, Japan. Oh, like finding like Onis and shit would be rad.
India would be sweet.
You know, I think basically everything would be awesome.
He's gonna box. He's gonna box Jesus,
dude. Doing like going from
Christ,
going from Nordic stuff to like Germanic or the Celts would be fucking sweet.
Yeah,
because like they don't have any like big named gods, so they could kind of like just kind of go off of some of the Irish shit that has.
I am the Son of God now.
I have died for your sins, Jesus.
Now I have died for the sins of man.
Oh boy.
But like, if you go by like how like they name some stuff in the Bible, there could be some sick ass enemies if you did Christianity.
Yeah,
like if the angels
there
looked like
be,
how gnarly they saying it, it could be fucking rad.
They don't really look that crazy. The crazy looking angels that you're thinking of come from like other shit.
I don't care. Let's do it.
Like the Divine Comedy
the Old
and some
Testament?
other stuff that.
Or they describe him with like all the eyes and like the rings around.
That's not from the Old Testament.
That is from the Old Testament.
That is not.
A lot of the
that's for other shit.
It's from the Old Testament.
A lot of the stuff that is like canonized in Christianity didn't actually come from the Bible. It's weird.
Yeah,
like the whole idea of Satan himself.
It's other writings like I can't remember what they're called.
Listen, I still think
like
it'd be
some
cool.
apocryphas and some other
Yeah.
shit that exist that most people take to be true and like get confused.
I mean,
with
technically,
being
the
in Bible.
Apocrypha, it's between like that big gap in the Old Testament to the New Testament.
It's it's useful, but like the whole idea, even of like Satan himself, he's mostly a character not inside of the Bible. Like, the idea is there, but like I think it might actually be Divine Comedy, or it's one of those.
The
old,
Divine Comedy does have a lot of stuff in it.
Yeah.
And I think you could do one that could encompass all of that, and it'd be sweet. I almost said Dante's, but then I was like, oh wait, they already have that game. That's Dante's Inferno.
Yeah, Dante's Inferno is a game.
Dude, I want to play that. I've never played that one, and that's
It's
one
pretty
I
sweet.
really want
I
to play.
haven't beaten it, but it is pretty sweet.
I watched
from
like
a little bit
I watched the anime. So they made like a
that movie
little anime
that
movie.
like keeps switching animation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I watched that when I was a kid because like, I talked to my mom into letting me buy it because I
Nice.
covered up
That was a
the
crazy
nudity.
movie.
Bro, that one kind of scarred me when I was like 13 because like her vagina like rips in half and there's like a scorpion tail. I was like, what the fuck?
dude.
Are there scorpions and vaginas? Is that why your dick gets so big? Is it swollen from the scorpion?
It's the venom, bro.
Oh my god!
But I saw that and as like a little 13-year-old, I was like, it broke my mind for a second. And I was like, it's still smash.
Is that why all the
man.
blood
And then
rushes to your
fucking-
dick so that it doesn't poison your heart?
And they stitched
Oh my
that claw
God.
to his chest and shit.
Oh, this cross to the chest is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And then
crazy.
You killed Death in the beginning to take his scythe. I knew that. That's sick as shit. Dude,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go find that now through my videos. I'm gonna pop it in and watch it.
Yeah, that would be sweet though. I would like to. I think that would be the one I would actually do. 50 Cent, as awesome as I would love to have full control over, total creative control over the next 50 Cent game.
Creative control.
I think choosing God of War's next setting would be awesome.
Also, you called it.
Yeah,
When you said God of War.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I'd do Smash Bros. To be honest, I think I'd like add a lot more video game characters from like other shit, like less Nintendo,
Yeah.
just to make it like the ultimate video game crossover thing, or something like if I were to do like Final Fantasy, I'd probably do like Final Fantasy Tactics and do like a Dissidia style thing where like you could play as the characters from each Final Fantasy and do like a big overarching thing that involves all of the characters, so you can make your own team of them, and then they have like all their abilities. Because like with Cloud, like when you play as him in the OG Tactics, his abilities are just his
limits.
his limit
Yeah.
breaks, yeah. And he gets like a unique one that's unique to Final Fantasy Tactics, which is like Cherry Blossom something. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, it's pretty fucking sweet. So like, there's an ability to like basically combine Tactics and Dissidia
Yeah.
in a like the best possible way. I feel like, yeah.
Nice. I just can't get over the God of War thing. Like at the very end of the series, he's like, God, I have come for you at last. You sacrifice your own son to me.
It would be crazy to have that
One
every...
of the boss fights is like Moses and Abraham.
Yeah, it's a duo. Yeah, oh, that'd be sweet.
I think like if you go to it too, it's like if he was the last possible boss, and it's like you killed my kids, Kratos, and it's like Zeus and Thor and like all these people.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
they were my children.
And they're all intertwined with the one God.
You fight like this giant like meat baby.
Yeah,
It's just everyone.
that would be pretty sweet. Or it's like all of the other religions are like true, but they're based like in that area.
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
what
a
I'm thinking.
thing.
That's
Yeah.
what I think they're gonna do anyway.
Oh man, you could do that with like the Hindu religion, because like all of the gods are basically just like aspects of the one god.
Yeah. I guess
When at the end, like you fight all of them. Like,
and then the world just ends.
And
like
then
you're
there's,
just,
like,
everything's
and-
destroyed.
I mean, that's what happened to Greece in the first 3 games.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's dead. Like they're fucked.
The only people that are alive from that game that you see, that you legit see, is Aphrodite and her 2 like chicks she keeps in her room.
yeah.
Those are the only people you don't fuck with. Well, you fuck them,
Yeah.
but like you don't kill them. Like those are the only 2 like that. As far as
and
you
then
can tell,
and then
everyone
also
else is fine.
Pandora's box is open, so the plague is out. So like
Yeah, the plague like
that's-
was out, but it wasn't affecting anyone on Olympus.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It kind of was, though.
But I mean, like it was doing the human, like the surviving humans more.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but because like the humans were gone, like the gods were dying.
I love that Aphrodite just got a pass.
I mean, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I also think it was
I mean, 'cause
hilarious
she
that
wasn't
you.
trying to kill him like every
yeah,
other
and she
god.
sucked his dick. Like, if I was going on a killing spree and some chick was like,
If
hey,
Hephaestus
real quick, I'd be
didn't-
like, you live.
If Hephaestus didn't try to screw him over,
Yeah,
he wouldn't
Hephaestus
have
would've
done
lived
anything
too,
to
yeah.
him.
Yeah, that's
That was
true.
a brutal one. Do you brain him?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to play those
Right
games,
after you
too.
fucked his wife too.
Yeah.
Well, he says
Literally right after
But he
you
says
fuck
it
his
too
wife.
because he's like, oh, you have the stink of Aphrodite on you.
So he knew he just got cucked.
Again.
Again.
She seduced another god of war.
It's kind of sad that Hephaestus is the god of cucks.
Yeah.
Do you pray to him twice?
It's the god of forges and cucks.
He's the first cock ring maker. You know what though? Like going like since you guys did too, I'll do another one. I would continue the Tomb Raider franchise, like this new one with this
Yeah.
new chick. But we kind of talked about it. We were talking, me, you, and one of our other friends, that we would like do it as singular villains. So like there is singular villains in each game, but there's an overarching villain in the end. And I would go back to I would go to like the Uncharted formula where it's like one villain for one game, and it's like one organization for a game,
Yeah.
and do it that way. That's what I would do.
That would be a good one. All right, you guys ready to review this bitch?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's watch the trailer, and then we will review Shadow of Le Tomb Raider. Looks like we got a speed run.
The official trailers of top.
47 minutes. That's pretty fast.
Just right
Down one.
Right there.
All right, guys, let's watch this bad boy here.
Peggy 18. Crystal Dynamics.
I've come so far. I'm not turning back. After all I've sacrificed, I have to wonder. What will I become?
It looks pretty sweet, though.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us about Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
All right. So basically, the story of the game is Lara's trying to actively fight against this group called Trinity, which is essentially kind of like the Illuminati.
Yeah.
There's like something going on about this like town in Central or South America where there's like this box that they have to like recharge the sun with.
Yeah. So there's
like every couple of years or something.
No. It's not. It's only if the knife's taken.
Oh, only if the
So
knife's taken.
there's a
Okay.
knife that acts as a key and this box, and they're kept apart from each other for good reason. And if you have the knife without the box, you can't. You basically she kickstarts the apocalypse because the sun's gonna die. Like what the villain like when she gets it, you start out in Mexico, and you're like following this dude, and you're like, oh, I can't remember his name, but you're like, oh, I'm following this guy. And when you find him, like you kind of like go sneak around, and you find this knife in this tomb. The knife she dropped is the one she finds in the tomb. And when she comes out, like everyone's like there because they end up finding you, and you try to like get away. And he walks up to you, and he's like, oh, you found it. He's like, give me the knife, and he goes like, give me the box. And he looks at her face, and she like kind of like she's like kind of like confused, and he's like, so you don't have it? He's like, do you know what you did? And like when you're in the tomb, it shows like an earthquake, a flood, an earthquake, a storm. No, a flood, a storm, an earthquake. Lava and like volcanoes exploding and like just the end. And so he's like, do you realize what you've done? Like he goes, you started the apocalypse. Like you started this without, because you didn't have all the answers and you still just took it. And so he like makes you feel like a piece of shit. And that opening to the game is probably one of my favorites of like all openings, because when you're there, like you hear like people screaming. And you run out into like this because like where it's built, like it's like there's a temple and like it's kind of close to like the city, and so you run out into the city and there's this huge wall of water, and it just like a tsunami just hits and it devastates this whole Mexican city. And so like your thing is like you're trying to run and like don't like trying to go, like you're trying to get out of there, but while you're doing it, like you have to like go underwater, and there's just like bodies like that have drowned, and you're like trying to swim through and like get through this thing, and it's her kind of like coming to terms with like.
Do you think that's the first time there was water in Mexico you could drink that wasn't from a bottle, or no?
Oh no, that's probably this water's still bad.
Oh, okay. I guess it's washing
really
up.
salty because it's from like the ocean.
Oh,
right?
that's true. Yeah.
But like it introduces like one of my favorite mechanics in this game that they throw in there, and it's like when like shit starts getting destroyed and you just have to run. I think it's so fun. Because you're just like parkouring off shit and you're trying to get out of there, and it's like the environment's like getting destroyed.
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
to be like, oh, here, right here. Okay, I'm gonna throw my hook here, and it's like you can miss, or it's like, oh, hey, you went the wrong way.
I feel like the
suck.
Dead Space series really kind of like pioneered the whole like iconic like everything's blowing up and dying, and you're just like,
Get the fuck out.
either that or like Temple Run. I don't know.
Or like Halo, the original Halo, you do that with the Warthog.
Oh, that's
when
true.
you're getting out there, like,
yeah.
but it's just fun. Like that's when I enjoy it, and it reminds me of like again like Uncharted, like we talked about earlier, because like, you're just running and you're just going. And like I don't know, for me it really clicked. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But
So that's how it starts out, is like just huge calamity.
Yeah, so,
Yeah,
like,
so
the
she basically kickstarts the apocalypse,
Yeah.
and then she finds
The
out
sun's
that she
dying.
needs more answers because like she did something she didn't know would cause like so she like it finds out that there's like this box that she's supposed to combine the knife with to like basically stop the apocalypse.
Well, what happens is you can, when you put it in there, you can either like it recharges the sun and the world continues the way it was, or
you can be like
you can
become
twist
a
it
god and then
you
and like
remake
the world how you want.
And that's what Trinity wants to do. Is he's like, we need to get rid of weakness. We need to get rid of like we need more compassion in the world. We need these people like, and if we can do, we can become gods, and we're in charge.
Wait, why would you need more compassion if you got rid of weakness?
It's just what he wants.
He's just crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
So if everyone's super strong, then what's there to be compassionate about?
Right.
Well, I mean, it's essentially like a way of justifying what they're trying to do.
Yeah,
It's
like,
they're-
oh, no
they're
poverty,
making
no
themselves. They're
hungry
going to
people.
set themselves up as gods over this new world.
Yeah.
Oh,
where they,
okay.
like,
So you got the utopian kind of an idea.
yeah, essentially. So they're basically going to like wipe out everybody's free will so
Yeah.
that they can become
And so
the higher power.
like that's like the opening like level you play, but the opening itself is fucking rad. Because you're like in this airplane and like there's a storm going on, and you're like flying over like South America, and she's with her friend Jonah, who's like he's been from the very first game, and he just like kind of helps you out through all of them.
Okay.
But as you're like flying, the storm getting worse, and he's like, "Hey, we should turn back." She's like, "No, we have to do this. It's my fault. It's my fault because you don't know what's going on yet because you haven't seen like the knife stuff."
Yeah.
But she's like, "No, we gotta go. We gotta go." And while you're there, like a fucking like a piece of ice, like hail, smashes through the cockpit and like hits the pilot and knocks him out. And they're like, "Fuck!" And so she goes and like gets in to like fly the plane, and she's like, "Hey, you need to put your seatbelt on." And he's like, "Dude, she's like, we need to jump out." And Jonah's like, "I'm not jumping out of this." And the whole back of the plane rips off with him on it, and it's just like you just slam into the ground. Like it shows you like getting ready to like crash, and then it switches to like, it doesn't tell you this, but it switches to like 3 days earlier. And you're like stuck in this cavern. It's her like that she fell into, and she's crawling out. And it goes into like you like getting ready to find the knife.
Nice.
It's pretty sweet. It was a pretty sweet like the whole thing was cool. Like,
Yeah, that sounds like a cool way to start it. It's like not quite at the end, but it's like further along than what it'll actually start out at.
Yeah,
I always like when they do that.
it was pretty sweet because you're like, "Don't know what's going on." But
Yeah.
yeah, so she does that through Mexico. Then they get. They find her. She finds a riddle, and so she starts like kind of following that, and her and the dude kind of talk about it. And, like
when she
should we
grabs
go?
the dagger, there's like references to this hidden city, like somewhere
and like
in,
the serpent
South
with
America.
the silver eye and stuff like that.
And so they like go searching for more clues, essentially, and then until they find like the hidden city,
Right.
And then the like locals there essentially like team up with her, like because she tells them that this group is trying to use this box to become gods.
And apparently, explorers have been finding it for forever, like for ages, trying to find like the box and like finding these things. And so this tribe has like kept it secret, and they don't mention these enemies. Like you end up running into them because Lord doesn't say anything to them. But you have these like little like they're like zombies almost.
Yeah, they're humanoid people called the Yaxil or something like that.
Yeah, Yaxil.
And their leader is like,
Just like she's this chick. She's like a shaman.
yeah, she's
a
like
warrior shaman.
a shaman kind of living god type deal.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because she's the other half to the god thing, huh?
Yeah. And so like
She's like they see her as a god of death.
yeah, so whoever has to like reunite the knife with the box has to like team up with her.
Yeah,
Essentially,
because they're
to,
the god
like,
the god of life.
because there's like the two gods, the god of death and the god of life, that like combine to basically right the world.
But so as you're like, so you're fighting these like Trinity like soldiers this entire time. But I guess there's a point where it kind of turns into a survival horror for a little bit, where these things are like running around and like killing people, and you never really see it. But you get like all the reactions. Like you walk into the temple, and there's just blood everywhere and like bodies, and
you like it goes all Dead Space where you like kind of see something shifting. Like you hear the sounds.
You hear the
yeah, I know that's exactly what it is too.
Like,
Yeah.
You see like glimpses every now and then of just like people on like all fours.
Do you think it's like the
running past
announcer guy in basketball? They just have a guy that goes around and goes like
maybe
the sound effect guy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, sorry.
So it's kind of like Uncharted in that way, where you got like the weird beasts that you eventually see them in Uncharted, obviously. But
right. So this trilogy goes super into the like mystical
The
side
occult?
of everything. Yeah, it's cool.
nice.
So yeah, like you do eventually see them because you eventually team up with them towards the end.
Yeah, and then you find out that like the leader of Trinity is like also the cult leader of Kukulkan in the hidden city. Like he's from there, and so he knows all about the box and the dagger, and that's
what he's the one
working
trying to
towards
find
it.
One of the things too, one of the overarching stories or plots from the very first game is Lara's trying to redeem her father's name. Because they said he was crazy towards the end and he committed suicide was like the whole like story. Mm-hmm. And so the whole reason she's doing all this stuff is she's like, no, he was right about, in the first game, she's like, he was right about this island. He was right about this Chinese goddess. Like he was right about other things too then. And so she's going off and doing it and like.
Yeah, she's basically following his research, which is what leads her to like everything.
Right. And you find out like the dad had worked with Trinity and this guy. And he was like finding things.
Yeah, and he was like, they were like best friends or something until like Laura's father like kind of pushed him too far because he was like, oh, he was gonna lead these people to my people, the hidden city, like, and he didn't want that because like they thrive off of being like kind of separated, which is what allows them to like kind of keep their culture and whatever, because they're basically descendants of like the Aztecs and Mayans and stuff. Like they're kind of their own kind of group. And they kind of stay that way. There's no technology there. They like have their own style of life, and they know about the outside world, but they don't want any part of it.
Yeah, they're just very traditional.
Yeah, and
kinda
so
like the Amish.
they're, and so like with Laura's father wanting to lead a bunch of people to that place, he was like, "No, we can't have this."
And the dad,
and they were
was
also gonna
gonna-
like try to get the dagger and stuff too,
Right,
which-
because the dad, so like the dad's whole thing too is like he Laura's mom died at a young age when she was pretty young, and the dad's whole like drive too is like to bring her back, and so he was like, no, you're not going to stop me from doing this because I can bring my wife back, and so they kill him.
yeah. So I mean, there's like.
Yeah,
It's not. They're both bad guys, but they're also kind of not bad guys because their reasons for killing her dad were kind of good reasons.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
that was like that was a good like dialogue too, is because like she confronts him on it because he like tells her, and she's like, "You took my world for like everything from me," and he's like, "It was one man. Like he was gonna take this entire like village and everything they cared about
and
from them."
she's like, "You
And
can't
she's-
think it's the same."
Yeah.
And she was like, "I was 9 years
She was
old," and
6.
it's like. Oh, I think she said it was like a 9 years.
I thought it was 6. Okay, maybe, but she's like, oh yeah, maybe I was like, she's like, it is. He's like, it wasn't your whole world, and she's like, it is to a 9-year-old, and it's like, okay, so like, it's pretty kind of intense with that because they're like, both of them are like,
you get both of where they're both
yeah,
coming from.
And then
yeah.
she's basically like, I don't have to listen to like a violent murderer and blah 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 blah. And he's like, how many people have you killed? And like getting to this point, and for what?
yeah, and so I'm like, fuck, he's right. Like,
See, that sounds like a good villain. There's too many games where the villain is just like so hammy, you know?
yeah,
Like that's one of the things that I think Wolfenstein New Colossus could have done really well was like your dad's character in that game, because like he ends up, joining the Nazi party, and he was terrible. But they had that scene in the game where you go back in time and he's like helping you like shoot the monsters. You come in with your BB gun and he's got a shotgun and he's like being a dad. But then at the end of the game, he's just an evil Nazi bastard, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a really weak thing. But this one sounds. I think this is a pretty dynamic bad guy.
I think he's a really good
He
villain,
is.
but they didn't do enough with him.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
yeah, because he
like,
disappears for a bit because
he-
like you've crashed.
the bad guy that becomes like the guy that you talk to and are like mainly antagonistic with for the most of the game is like his second in command, which I can't remember that dude's name, but he's
Oh,
basically
he's a
like
bitch.
the military part of the
But like, you don't really have any real things with him because he just like it's him talking to you on the
yeah,
microphone
but
as soon
like,
as he finds out you're listening.
he knows that you're there, and then like he just like I don't know. There's like a weird antagonism between the two of them, which doesn't really make much sense because her real antagonism is with like the real leader of Trinity,
Right.
And he does have a lot of really good stuff, but like they don't use him with
Right.
her enough.
But
until, like,
but
the
when they
end,
do use
really.
him, it is great.
Yeah,
It's rad because they do good things with it, and they do like show like both sides of the coin where it's like, hey, like this, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So like,
Nice.
So he technically wins like almost like about midway through because he gets.
yeah.
You go to
so
find the
he-
box, and the box is gone.
Yeah, so you go to like where the
Yaksha.
the Yaxi'll like fucking keep the box, and you find out that it's gone, and you're like, oh shit, like Trinity already has
Yeah.
it, and so like you,
And so she like it makes the people because they let you in. Like when you get that far and you solve all the problems,
yeah,
like,
they
the puzzles.
don't go into where the box
Yeah,
is.
the
'cause, like,
shaman
it's, like-
lets you in because you open the door because it's like, oh, you solved like this riddle, and when you go in and it's not there, and an earthquake like a 4 tremor starts, and all of them lose their mind, and she's like, oh my god, they think I stole it, or I destroyed it, and she just takes off, and like it's like one of those running things again because they're like trying to kill you.
Yeah, you get the fuck out, and then
She loses hope.
yeah, and then like the queen's
Oh,
been
that's the one where it's a landslide, huh?
yeah,
The mudslide. Oh, that was fun. That was great.
yeah, it was the earthquake mudslide one.
So you try to get to this helicopter and you're trying to fight for it, and like your friend is like in there, but then he gets his ass kicked, and like they like fly away, and he's like, "Where are you gonna go?" And she's like, "I'm gonna try to catch the helicopter." And then while you're running, a landslide starts because one of the earthquake triggered it, and that one's pretty. Rad
I think
too.
I've seen this one. Is this where you get like speared by the trees and shit?
You can, yeah. Oh, dude, this is so many ways for her to die. In
You
this
get like
game.
run through by trees.
Yeah, there's in the first one they did it a lot. Second one not as much. For this one, they going back to it is when you die. There's different like tons of different death animations
yeah.
when you die.
Nice. I think I've seen. I saw a montage of these, and I think that was from this game.
Yeah, they're rad.
So, she lost her footing and then fucking went through a tree, just went through a midsection.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus,
dude, it's rad. It's so cool. But this one's fun because when you're running, the houses are getting destroyed, and going into your path. So you're trying to they catch them as they're going into the mud.
Oh, nice.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it sounds like so they have multiple cinematic moments like that.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it's the tsunami flood thing, and then you got the landslide.
Another one's when the Yaksho think you've destroyed the box, so they're chasing you.
Okay, so it's like a
Which is
fleeing
sweet.
one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And so basically what happens after that is they team up with the Hidden City people again to go find the box or whatever.
Yeah.
They find out that they're in the process of doing the ritual to basically unite the dagger in the box
As well, you find out that the woman that's in charge of these people she's related. It's her brother-in-law is the leader of Kukulkan. So you find out he's her brother.
The
she was
queen of the Hidden City is she married the Trinity leader's brother.
And the whole reason the Trinity dude's doing this is because his brother's dead. He wants him back. Yeah. And so you find out that, and it's the whole thing because they have some pretty good interactions where where she's sitting there and she's talking to because he throws her in jail and she's why are you doing this, stop. And he's I don't want to kill you. He's I want you to, because why can't you just suck it up and just help me.
Yeah, basically
I'm not
he
doing
tries to
bad
tell her
things.
that the reason he's gonna become a god is because he wants to protect the people and whatever.
And she's but you could do that by staying here. And he's
and
no, that's
then-
not how it works. And she's no, you could. You've thrown everything away your brother wanted for you and made for you because of this. And he's I'm doing it for my brother. And it's just gets in this thing where it's
Basically, Lara and those people want to protect the world as it is rather than remake it with somebody else as some kind of god.
Yeah.
And so they catch up with them, and then Lara finds out that the leader of the Yixel people there is the Crimson Fire, which is the opposite of the Queen of the Hidden City. They were supposed to be the two who unite the dagger and the box to basically save the world. 'Cause,
Yeah.
they have to
help each other.
Yeah, and so every leader is basically trained for that to happen in case it does.
Yeah, 'cause she's got a tattoo on her forearm, and she's if I lose my way, this will help me.
Yeah, so what she is I can't remember. It's her past or what represents her past,
Yeah.
and then the Crimson Fire is her future because that's
It's the herring and the moon or whatever.
yeah, it's
It's
the
the
fire
past.
and the eclipse.
Yeah, and so then she kind of so Laura's beats herself up a lot in this one. But right
Yeah,
before
because
that,
Jonah is also getting on her ass about what she's been doing because she's killing a fuckload of people and
yeah.
the decisions she's making kind of make her seem crazy.
and he's
she's basically just doing it all on a leap of faith every single time.
So
instead
there's
of, actively making sure that's the proper
and
way to go. About
every
it.
time something goes wrong, too, she blames herself. And there's a part in the beginning after the Mexico flood, you get there and you find your friend Jonah, and he's helping people, and she's what do we? He's we need to help the people. And she's no, we need to stop this. And he just starts screaming at her. And he's it's not your fault. It's not always your fault. He goes, everyone makes decisions. We're helping these people first. And it kind of shakes her as a character.
Nice.
Is the part where the boat. So one of my favorite parts of the game is you kind of escape from the Hidden City because the cultists start killing people. They start sacrificing everyone to the gods. And as you're going, you get blown out of the water by the dude, the military dude. And you get to see Lara Croft just snap. She's in the water and she's hearing all these different things from the past, all these people telling her people are dying and whatever, and she Jason Voorhees walks out of the water.
Yeah, the water
with
the
her
water
knife.
is on fire. She's coming out of there
Doesn't
silhouetted.
blink.
It has this fucking knife. These two guys are fucking visibly afraid
Yeah,
of
they
her.
start shooting at her and they're missing her every time.
They're missing her, and then she just walks up and fucking
Wow.
stabs this guy.
I came.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was hot.
Was it like a slow-mo walk part?
It was,
yeah,
dude.
And like
Dude,
determining.
it was wonderful.
a determinate walk.
Oh, dude, it was badass, dude. It was so good. Like the whole scene is just good because it's her like, fuck these guys.
Nice.
So you do that. You kind of figure out what's going on there, and you guys have to like do your next step. And it actually throws Christianity into it because like this old or like wherever we go, this guy found the box and he hid it
in this church.
in the church. And Trinity doesn't know this either because they don't know where the box is either.
Yeah.
So
and so like they like explore this church and they like do the puzzle whatever that allows them to like kind of explore, and then they like fall down into this weird ass fucking cathedral that's like done with zombies
and catacombs and stuff.
Yeah,
Not really
like
zombies, just
I mean,
bodies.
it's just, yeah, but he like Jonah calls them zombies, which is
yeah.
funny.
Oh, does he?
But like it's like it's this church that has like the pews and whatever, and like all the people that are like sitting on the chairs are like dead people, and they have like these scenes of like Jesus on the cross and whatever, and they're all done with dead people, like that are just like fucking old rotted corpses. Like all of them, it's like really creepy, but like, and then you have to solve the puzzles, which like opens the path to
and
like,
it's
finding the box.
It's just the 12 points of the cross or whatever, like him like walking.
Yeah.
It's like this the story of him walking to the crucifixion, and you have to solve all those, and you find the box,
yeah,
and it's game time.
yep. And then they fucking steal it from you, and then you team up with the Crimson Fire to take it back.
Oh, dude, that's another one of the running ones that's
then-
super sick. Is when you're running with like the Yak shell, and you're like going through to like stop, and like you see like these guys are just sacrificing themselves, like taking out like helicopters and shit, and it's chaotic and it's just cool.
Yeah, and then they finally climb up to like the top of this hidden city, like where there's like this special ritual place where the leader of the Trinity has like united the box.
Yeah, he's already
and the
started.
knife.
He's already
And
started
so
the
he's
ritual.
become a god. He's like filled with the light of the sun, so he can do like the godly stuff. And she like interrupts the ceremony, and then you have this big boss fight with him, and then you take the power back through the knife, and then
Because you get the
with
power as
Crimson-
you stab him like in the boss fight, and
yeah,
you get
it, like
the power,
the power
into
like
you.
good. Yeah, well, yeah, it joins with the knife again, and so like you reunite the knife with the box with Crimson Fire's help.
And she gets warned that it'll like tempt her to things, and it's tempting her to restart the world.
So
'Cause
that
it
she
shows
can
her-
basically like get her family back.
Yeah.
And then she's like,
No.
I am
Because
sorry."
Jonah says something about what is it? It was a really good quote. I can't remember what he exactly said, but it talks about how she's like, "What would you do?" And he's like, "Well, everything." He goes like, "She's like, would you?" Oh, because his brother like has died like years ago, and she's like, "Would you restart the world to have him back?" And he's like, "Oh, I love him." He's like, "But everything I love is here right now,
Yeah.
so I would keep going." And so that kind of like rings in her head, and she like really so she decides to like make sure the sun doesn't or recharges itself, so the eclipse stops. And you save the world.
And then after the credits, it basically reveals that the last 3 games that you played were prequels to the first one,
The very
like
first.
the OG one.
Oh wow.
Because like she's got like a bunch of stuff from all over the world, and then she's like sitting behind her desk, and like the butler
butler.
walks in with tea for her.
Oh wow, that's funny.
Yeah. Which is why it leaves it open for more games, because it's like they could just like continue with the reboot, and
I hope they do.
or just like leave it as a prequel
its own thing.
series.
I bet they'll continue. And it can still be a prequel
I hope they
series.
do, because it's a good enough like
They're great.
like they're better than the original games.
They could do an
So-
ending trilogy now, like they did with
They
Uncharted
could-
for the one
they could
game, and be like,
actually
"Hey, this
give
is
it,
how
like,
we're
an
gonna do it."
ending of her retiring or finding
Yeah.
a family or some shit. So
She won't.
yeah, she won't.
She's too got she's for the game, bro. Like, dude. But anyway, yeah, it was fun. I thought it was a fun story. A bit short.
Oh yeah, this one's way shorter than the other games by a lot.
Yeah.
Like this one is way more open world than
So you can make it
Rise
longer.
of the Tomb Raider. Yeah, so you can make it longer. Like there's like way more tombs and like
Yeah.
explorables and collectible stuff to like go get. But the game itself, I think, is only like 9 or 10 hours, whereas like
that.
Rise of the Tomb Raider and Tomb Raider were like easily like 15 to 18.
Yeah. So I mean that's a bit of a letdown. I wish it was longer. There's a lot of cooler stuff they could have thrown in there.
That's what she said.
But yeah, like it's I like the game for the story a lot, but I do feel like they didn't use the villain enough.
Yeah, he was good.
Because like he was literally the best part, because he had a dynamic with like the Queen of the Hidden City, which becomes pretty good friends with Lara, and Lara herself has obviously an antagonistic relationship with him.
Yeah.
Which they do utilize pretty well in that one scene.
Oh yeah.
But I do kind of wish they used him more instead of like the other guy for like most of the like stuff that goes on.
But I think that's part of the charm of it as well, is he wasn't overused to the point where you're like,
I
oh,
guess,
this fucking
yeah,
guy.
but like it makes it, because you don't even fight that guy that you've been like
No,
the
yeah,
military guy.
that's bullshit. He just gets killed by the Yakshal.
Yeah.
Like they just fucking beat the shit out of him in his tank. And it's like, oh.
Yeah, and he's kind of been an ass
I mean, like
the whole time.
even if all you did was like shoot an arrow into his shoulder and pull him out, and they just started beating the shit out of him, I would have taken that, because at least you helped.
Yeah,
because
but
you don't even help.
Yeah, you don't even fight him. But yeah, I'll give the story like an 8.
You know what? I was gonna say the same thing. I'd have given it an 8 too. I will give it an 8, but yeah.
All right, 8 for story.
It has a setting that doesn't get used very much, which is like that Central America kind of like
Like the Mayan Aztec kind of stuff.
yeah, like that aesthetic, but also like the religion stuff that they have. Like, you know, I mentioned before how like the ancient Japanese, or like not ancient, but like the samurai stuff doesn't really get used very much in gaming. They like do it sometimes, but not like straight up Japan.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, Central America, South America stuff as well does not get used at all, and I would like to see more of that.
Yeah.
Because this is a fucking sweet game, and I think part of that is because it has some of that shit going on.
Yeah.
And they only ever use that for, you know, like the Indiana Jones style games. Like, you
Right.
know, there's
Uncharted is El Dorado.
Uncharted 1 had that,
Yeah, El
and
Dorado.
then, you know, the Tomb Raider has that now too, and like I think a couple other ones, but not very many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, great. It was good. So what about gameplay?
Yeah, tell us how this bad boy plays.
Gameplay, I don't think it's as good as Rise of the Tomb Raider. It's about the same, but like I feel like there's like a few differences.
They changed a lot of buttons up in this one, actually.
They
like
made
swimming
this
was
one-
different.
This one's less combat oriented as well. This one's definitely more of like a stealthy kind of game rather than like.
But it
Rise
doesn't-
of the Tomb Raider was full on like third person shooter, Gears of War going on type shit. Where this one is like it has that
right.
because it has those weapons for it, but it's like. They want you to be more stealthy,
Right,
and
but
which is why all the parts where there's combat is set up for that.
Right, but it doesn't punish you like The Last of Us 2 does, which I liked. There was there was one scene that we talked about with
there's
like these two guards that was bullshit.
In Tomb Raider, when you get behind cover, you actually stay behind cover when you try to shoot somebody.
Yeah.
Unlike The Last of Us 2. Okay.
So like no, I think. So it doesn't punish you because you can decide if you're going to be stealthy or not. And the system it has is you can upgrade, so you can like put a bunch of points into like being a scavenger. You can put a bunch of points into like fighting people. You can put a bunch of points into like stealth.
Yeah, it does that.
So you can decide how you're going to play.
It does that action game thing where like they've adopted in the last few years, where there's like 3 skill paths that you can go down. That's like the Predator thing, the like main combat stuff, and then like the collectibles kind of area, and they rely on that pretty heavily. They started doing that a little bit in Rise, but they went with full hog on this one. And there's like just a bunch of abilities that will help you out by doing that. And yeah, it's pretty. I like it a lot. Mm-hmm. It's a lot like, you know, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and it still has that Metroidvania style thing where if you go do the tombs, then you can do whatever. But like there's too much extra shit, I feel like, because like they made it so that the story was like way shorter, and they had to be more reliant on the extra stuff.
Yeah.
Because they made the world like way bigger, and they're like, all right, well, if you want to go do all this shit, then you have to go do all these tombs.
Right. You want this upgrade, you need to do this. So like for them, like I think I'd give it a 7. There was definitely some problems, but it wasn't. It wasn't overshadowed by the problems.
Yeah,
it wasn't Shadow the Tomb Raider. The problems.
It wasn't shadowed by the Tomb Raider.
Yeah, so it was good. There was some things definitely had complaints about. with like not like being able to grab things sometimes, where it's like, oh, you can do this, or like, hey, you should be able to jump this way and you can't, because it's like, oh, you missed. It's like, no, I didn't. Yeah. So like, there's stuff like that, or like some enemies like were just kind of shitty.
They
and, like,
fucked
AI,
over
but...
melee combat a lot in this one too. Like if you try to,
oh yeah,
because like in Rise of the Tomb Raider and the first Tomb Raider game, you can use like those climbing axes as like weapons, and you can do that in this one too. But they're like, you have to hit people like 8 times in this one, whereas like in Rise of the Tomb Raider and Tomb Raider, you only had to do it like 2 or 3 times.
Well, they were actual like level up things you could get too. As you like leveled up your axes, you got different like execution things.
Yeah, you can make them stronger and stuff, and like you could use them to like rip the armor off of like heavier armored guys in Rise of the Tomb Raider, and that's not even an aspect in this game.
Yeah, so that would that.
So they definitely took a lot of like combat features out of this game from Rise of the Tomb Raider.
That's unfortunate sounding.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna play one, I think you should.
It's definitely
play
because they made
Rise
this one more of a stealth game rather than like a combat game.
The
like
stealth,
Rise of the Tomb Raider was.
The stealth options it gives you are pretty sweet. Like one of like my favorite things you saw in the trailer is where she like puts the mud on herself. She'll like get like mud, like just like rubber mud, like mud everywhere.
No, I love when chicks rub mud on themselves.
It's great, huh?
Yeah.
And she like backs up and she'll like step into these certain areas. It's only in certain areas, but she'll walk up and like it'll be like this like rock or like whatever.
Oh yeah,
and
there'll be like these parts that are like covered in like roots and mud and stuff. She can like blend into it because she's covered in mud.
And that's an ability you have to unlock?
No, it just gives it to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It gives it to you.
So it's not so much that there's a stealth path. It's a stealth game.
So the stealth path,
it's definitely a stealth game. Yeah.
What the paths it does give you like to level up on is more of like, hey, you can like expound on these things. So it's like when you fall, you don't make any sounds. You can chain assassination people.
Oh, okay.
So it's like it doesn't. Yeah. So it doesn't like screw you over per
the
se.
Abilities are like chain assassination. So you can kill like one other guy like immediately if you like can surprise him.
Or it's like if you kill this person,
like,
you like debuff from damage for a little bit too.
At some point in the game, you get the ability to like shoot a rope arrow at a guy while you're in a tree.
I took
to,
that one.
Pull him up and like kind of dangle him down.
Sick.
And there's like an upgrade for that hides them in the tree rather than have them hanging from the
tree.
tree.
It's like it's sweet because it hits them, and because she's like a smaller chick, she like hits him, and then it shows her like jump off the tree, and it's like her like pulling him up. It's kind of rad. Like they kind of like went the extra mile into showing things like especially with, like her body type and stuff, like things she probably wouldn't be able to do normally.
That's cool. I like the. I like the idea of a stealth game in this sort of genre because that's the reason why I was
if you prefer stealth games to like third person shooters, you'd probably enjoy this game more than the other ones. And for this game especially, they try to like go back to the original roots of Tomb Raider because the original Tomb Raiders don't focus very much on like combat or anything. They're mostly like puzzle solving, which is exactly what this one is because like all the side quests and stuff in this game and all the like tombs and stuff are entirely puzzle based. Like there's like no combat.
Yeah, and that's the reason why when I went to Uncharted after playing Last of Us, I was like, I don't really like Uncharted that much. And I know it's not supposed to be the same kind of game, but they mention, oh hey, if you want to go stealthy, you just kind of walk slow, and I'm like, but like Last of Us, it's like it is the stealth, you know. So I was like so I feel like that's, I don't know, it's kind of better because like the only other example we have is like Far Cry, right? Where Far Cry you don't have to be stealthy, but like you really want to be because there's so many fucking.
There's
dudes.
A lot of rewards for being stealthy in that game.
Yeah, and it seems like this one's kind of maybe leaning more towards Last of Us.
It's definitely more of a stealth game in like the way that it's set up and the fact that like all the guns that you get in the game, there's like one of the upgrades is getting a silencer on all the guns.
Oh, okay.
So like even the shotgun gets a silencer like that. So it's like they definitely are like, hey, you can be fucking stealthy as fuck in this game. Like all the upgrades are like, oh hey, there's like this arrow that you can get now that like confuses the enemies, so they start shooting their buddies.
Oh yeah, and it's not an arrow. You get certain like poisons.
Yeah.
So like in one of the one of the stealth ones, you can like choose to like be able to harvest certain things. So like you can harvest these bugs or like these frogs, and you like put their venom on like your arrow. So when you hit them, they can like poison them, or it's like it's called like the Jaguar's Frenzy or something like that.
Yeah.
And they freak out and they start like unloading on their own team. It's pretty sweet.
Nice.
Yeah, and then there's like other ones that are like other upgrades you can get where you can like put a bomb inside the dead bodies of dudes that you've killed.
Oh,
like,
wow.
and it starts beeping, and so like the dudes will be like, "What the fuck?" And so they like go check it out, and then they'll explode.
Nice.
That's pretty sweet.
and
She's a
so
savage
It's
dude.
basically like a way of
So
like
funny.
taking out a bunch of dudes while still being super stealthy. So it definitely does not want you to be like going full combat mode.
Okay. See, I kind of like. I don't know. Part of me kind of likes the stealth thing more.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I think it might just be preference, but
No, and that's the beauty of it too. Is
All
you
the
can
games
decide.
up until this one allow for stealth and stuff, but there definitely is like straight up combat moments.
yeah.
Where this one does not have straight up combat moments until like the final boss fight, and then it's all stealth.
Yeah.
Every
But
single
even
time.
the final boss fight is stealthy.
You can be stealthy, yeah. if you
Well,
want
that's
to.
why you kept
Like
dying at
one
the
of my
end, 'cause you
favorite
weren't
things
stealthy.
was
You don't. He teleports behind you.
No,
you can't be stealthy
You
at
can.
that point.
I did it in the first try, and I hid in trees.
That you fucking.
I hid in trees.
Don't you fucking
You just
lie.
run. As soon as you hit him, like he goes down and does that little minute, you just take off and you hide.
Dude, he kept following me.
No,
and
because
teleporting behind me.
he looks for you. If you get away, as soon as he's like, you like do like little video, whatever the fuck, and he goes down and you take off, and you like blend into one of the walls or jump in a tree, he can't find you. He's looking for you, and he's like taunting you as he walks around, and you're supposed to stealth up on him and fuck his shit up.
Well, I fought that straight up as a
Yeah,
fight.
so mine was stealth. I did it straight up stealth because I had to, because I almost
Well,
died so many
It
times.
kept throwing
Yeah.
like the ads at me, so I had to like kill all of the little dudes too.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I liked about Last of Us is like playing on Grounded. It's you don't have to be stealthy, but you will fucking die if you do not kill everyone secretly. Like if there are even more than 2 guys left alive and
You'll
you
get
blow your
fucked.
cover, yeah, you're done. Because they'll flank you, and there's nothing you can
Yeah.
do.
They actually did that in The Last of Us 2.
You get up to
Like,
beat a guy
which
down with your
was
fucking
nice.
wooden block, and then this buddy just guns you down
No,
from
the
point
wooden
blank
block.
range.
It's the brick.
Yeah, the brick. You get up to brick a guy, and this buddy just shoots you. And it's like, and then you start the whole area over again, and you have to stealth kill 30 fucking dudes. I don't know. That's why I'm excited to get to Last of Us, and I'm like, God, I gotta finish Suikoden. Like, I don't care if the story's not great. I want to fucking do some stealth assassins.
There's a lot of stealth in that game.
Yeah,
some
there is.
stealth assassinations and some brutal lesbian anger.
I mean, it's stealth is like as well as like it's more towards the first half of the game, and the second half is a bit more of a shooter.
Yeah.
I didn't like stealth at all as
there's-
Abby. I'll be honest. I
There
just
is
fucked
some
shit up.
stealth as Abby, but there is a lot more like zombie shit.
I used her massive muscles to beat the
So,
shit out of people.
Essentially, what they do is like they kind of split it off into like 2 parts. Where like one part is like the stealthy Ellie stuff, and then there's like the you play as Abby, who's like more reminiscent of Joel. Where like
Yeah, she's kind of a
when you
she's
play
a
as
soldier.
Joel, you remember how there was like those standoffs against the zombies while you're doing like the generator part.
Yeah.
Under the hotel, like a couple other parts that are like that. There's a lot more of those when you're
Okay.
playing as Abby.
yeah.
So,
So
kind
the-
of like.
So this game's a lot more. It's more leaning towards like The Last of Us and not Uncharted though with the stealth. But it's different for it's the odd man out for
'cause
the series. though.
Uncharted really isn't stealthy.
There's
Yeah.
stealthy parts in Uncharted, but you don't have to be stealthy. But in this one, you definitely do, because you're more resistant to damage in the other games, and in this one, you are not. So, like, if you are in a fight, you have to be really careful because
Okay.
you will get fucked if you don't do stealth.
Got it. What would you? Let's see. Who gave the gameplay score? It was
did.
Zach.
It was me.
What would you
I'll
give
give
it?
the gameplay an 8.
All right, 8 for Craig.
I think it suffers from trying to be a lot more open world, and I don't like that it took away like a lot of the cool like fighting aspects from like
Yeah.
Rise. But I do like the game by itself as a stealth game.
All right. What about the sound and music? What's the soundtrack like?
They were sweet.
Sound effects.
There was
voice
some
acting?
sweet
The sound is pretty
sounds.
sweet. They got some like South American music going on. And then they have like some like ritualistic creepy shit going on at some other parts, like fucking in that cathedral underground. Like
Yeah.
that was some creepy ass shit.
It was. Because
It was like a fucking like
situation.
it was like a chant and shit going on. It was like, ooh,
Yeah, it
like
was.
that.
They definitely knew how to like use the music for like the ambiance and like how to
Yeah.
like, set the scene. Because there's parts where like you're like, nah, I'm fine, and then like the music is like creeping. You're like, fuck, and it like makes you be like, shit, I do need to like relax on this.
Yeah.
The
And
voice
not run
acting
in.
is also really good in the
Yeah.
game. Like really good. There's
Nice.
some insanely good performances.
The girl, the lady that does Laura has been doing it. It's the first one, and she's great.
Oh yeah,
She's fantastic.
She's great. Like like when you get killed and like the screaming and stuff. Like
Yeah.
you'd think that like it would sound cheesy and stuff, but no, she like actually makes it sound.
Yeah,
like
she went
that's
for
an
it.
actual real thing. That's
So
going
like
on.
the two OG would be her and the guy that plays Jonah.
Yeah.
Both awesome. They're great. You like they put emotion into the actual like performance too. So like you feel like they've been friends for a long time. You feel that they really care about each other. And like there's no like sexual hanky panky. Like you feel they're friends. You feel like they're legit friends and that they want what's best for each other. And it's great. They do a fantastic job.
Yeah, there's more sexual tension between her and the fucking
Tribal leader?
the queen of the hidden city than there is between her and Jonah.
Which
So-
I'm happy they didn't do with Jonah though, because like I think it would have ruined his whole thing. Because Jonah's just a good dude.
Yeah.
Who like doesn't want his friend to get impaled by.
Dude, I would have been
sticks.
sad if he had died.
Oh, me too, dude. Yeah, I was sitting there and I was like, you better fucking not.
Because there were a couple moments where it tried to scare you, and it does that in every fucking game where it's like Jonah just disappears, and it's like, oh fuck, what happened to Jonah? And then
So
it's like, oh, he's
one of
not.
the scene where she snaps is the dude starts like the bad well not like the military dude starts talking to her on the walkie-talkie, and he's like, oh yeah, he's like, we know you're here and we found your friend, so like when you get here he's gonna be dead, like that's bottom line. And she's like keeps screaming into it, like calling his name, and like you don't get anything. And he's like, no, he's like, we found him. Like, don't worry, he's with us. And it's just and like that's when she like gets crazy. She's like he's like her best friend and like her like real like last like link to anything.
Yeah.
And so they did really well with that.
Yeah.
Did you get the chasing the fox scene, or is that just in the movie? She's like a little fox tail on her bicycle and just like.
Oh,
That was just in the movie.
that one's based on the first game
and that would
anyway.
have been based off the first game, yeah.
Yeah, because this is all like, well, this one's at post-apocalyptic, basically. Like,
Kind of, yeah. So like, it's still the trilogy. So like, if they did do the movie trilogy with that one chick, this would be the third last one for the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it.
But
Yeah, it's crazy though. You guys are talking about how good the sound is. Like, this has become a real staple this generation. Like, real high quality. Like, not just good soundtracks, but like immersive sound
Yeah,
quality.
and
Like, we've
it's
done-
awesome.
Yeah, and it makes the game so much better.
I
It's
feel
crazy.
like it's because they're more focused on like actually having people play with like headphones and shit. For this generation, because like on PS3, everybody just like they gave you a Bluetooth little headset for like the chat that they implemented, but they didn't really like make games specifically for the soundscape.
Yeah.
And so like and nobody really played with headphones unless you were playing on a PC. And so for this generation, I feel like they were like, yeah, you definitely need like headphones to be playing these games because like they're full like 3D stereo, because like you hear dudes walking to your left and like the sound is coming from like your left.
Yeah, it's surround
your
sound.
thing.
Yeah, in the
it's-
headphones.
It's like the perfect 3D sound, and
yeah.
they're definitely going for that more in this generation. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just something I've noticed. Like, I never really talked about that before in games, but like it's something I've actively noticed. Like, wow, this is really impressive, and it's basically been PS4 and on, this current gen.
No, it's
There's
great.
not many PS3 games that have really kind of tried to focus on that. I'd say like Dead Space is one of the bigger ones.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it tried to like go full horror and they use sound as one of those aspects.
Yeah, but that was
But like no other games really like on PS3
And, well,
tried
'cause
to like make
Yeah.
that an emphasis.
it seemed like what they were going for was graphics for the longest time.
Yeah.
It's going to look amazing. And like they hit a good peak. They hit a great spot with graphics where like they are still getting better, but they're great right now.
Yeah.
And they went to the sound of music, and that's
I would say Doom 3
it makes all the difference.
Doom 3 does a good job of the sound too. It's
Oh, yeah,
very
I'd agree with
creepy.
that, too.
It's very creepy.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's like few and far between until we get to this gen. That's just something I noticed when we were talking about this. Because like before it was like, oh, the soundtrack is good. Now it's basically like when we're talking about Suikoden, it's like, yeah, the soundtrack's great. But it's not like an ambient soundscape where we're like, wow, this is really impressive. It's like,
they were also limited by their time.
Yeah,
as
it's
well.
true.
I mean, so it's like you have to. There is an element of having to look back on it, but like,
Yeah.
right now it's like, oh man, and then. You and I played fucking Hellblade, and it's like, God,
That's the whole
damn,
point of
like,
that game, yeah.
Like even now, I still look back at that game, and I'm like, that game is like worlds ahead of like every other game. Like every other game that I give a 10 to for sound, I'm like,
That one's like a 20.
Hellblade is still like a 20, and it's like, how the fuck are they not trying to emulate that game?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's just something I just observed. It's kind of off topic, but
Yeah. That's a really good point to bring up because it's true. Like it's just great.
yeah, it's a good time.
It's a big part of everything, and
Yeah,
it feels like it's a natural progression with like movies too, because like they spend a lot of time on sounds in movies, and I think video games just kind of caught up with it.
Yeah, that's probably true.
The creepy sounds were really great. Like you're like the
Yeah.
they're like because
scuttle.
that's a real thing because you're like in these like caves and you just hear them like
Yeah,
and it's like oh fuck like he's right there. And then it's
You,
like
you don't even fight those guys.
Yeah,
till
you don't
later,
even
too.
fight,
That's,
yeah.
that's why it's like such a build-up. It's because it's like you never actually get to that point
then
until
they
like
go down to
halfway
one
through
shot
the
with the
game.
shotgun.
Yeah.
They're like, like just watching him back. Like, okay, click, click.
no, I'm not scared.
Oh, they're
I wa-
creepy looking
Yeah.
dudes because like they're still people, but
They
they,
do a
like
shit
cut
ton
off
of
their
damage.
lips, and so like their teeth are like exposed and shit.
Yeah, no, for real. Like, yeah, the chick is like, yeah, you just see
And
like
some of them are like filed and all like
Oh,
weird
wow.
looking.
They
and
have,
it's,
like, these,
they're
like,
fucking. And they make
claws.
guttural sounds instead of like
Yeah.
And some of them,
oh,
like,
dude, that chick. So I thought it was gonna be a voice. That's a good point. But
Oh,
she's
yeah.
like, she like talked to her. And she's like, and you're like, what the fuck?
oh,
like,
and
it's great.
Oh man, you know what? I'm gonna look up a clip for it.
You
so I
should
can show you because
like
this-
they went balls in, dude. Like you talking about, so yeah, they
Balls
like
in, holy shit.
yeah, they went all ball. They pushed them all in. It seemed like from like talking to like with like different people talking, they went and actually did research on like these like Incan and Mayan cultures to see how they would have like their language and their dialect.
Yeah.
And it's rad because they use it.
Yeah,
Like they went for it.
that's awesome. That's something they did
Here's
for
here's a
Far
video.
Cry Primal as well that I was very impressed with. All right, watching this little clip.
it's where they like team up with Crimson Fire. Yeah.
Okay, almost there.
Skip ahead a little bit, so you can get to the part where like she actually talking to her.
I think it's like right now, because there's a chick right here on the ground.
The Crimson Fire.
So their lips are like cut off.
Yeah,
That's kind of what it looks like.
yeah, their lips are cut off. That was some weird, creepy thing that I noticed. I think it's only like the top lips for some of them.
Hmm.
The Crimson Fire. Huh?
It's weird how. Yeah, it's weird how much. Like certain games will do like really good with dialects and stuff like that, and then most games just don't care. They'll just have random people with British accents and shit. What the fuck?
Yeah,
I
dude.
told you.
Like you think that it's gonna sound a little feminine? Nope. The thing is a fucking monster.
Wow, that thing's got a dick.
I mean, like to be fair too,
Just kidding.
when you say like they just show people with them with British accents, you're not wrong in that game. This one either, because that does kind of happen in this one.
No, really.
Where she meets this tribe and they're like, "Fuck yeah, we know English." And, like she sneaks it. I don't know if it's like attributed to the fact that like Trinity is bringing people in, but I wouldn't expect them to because he doesn't want like the people to find his village. But there's a scene where you have to sneak into this like little like temple where he's keeping the chick, the queen. And you walk up and like her like son's like, okay, that tells her the password, and she goes up in perfect English and tells him this password, and they're like, you may pass. And I'm like, she didn't even try.
Yeah.
She didn't even like and I was like, okay, whatever. But they do kind of do that too, which is an interesting thing that they would do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's because like throughout the game like you're learning the languages, and if it's just like, oh yeah, you understand because you've learned this, and like it's pieced enough together you can understand this, or not, because it doesn't really explain that.
Yeah, is it like us hearing it as Laura would hear it and translating it?
That's what I'm wondering.
Because that's when you see like people speaking English in like Germany, like 40s Germany games.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's for us. It's not that they
So one of the weird things is like, yeah, when you meet some of the people in the hidden city, like some of them speak perfect English, and I was like really thrown by that because like they have perfect like American accents.
Yeah.
And it's like that's weird. And they're like, oh, well, yeah, sometimes we, like, talk to people from the outside. It's like, that still wouldn't explain your, like, accentless speech.
Yeah, so they try to, like, pass it off. That's kind of dumb.
Especially since, like, the leader of Trinity, who's from that village, like, has a Hispanic accent. And then...
Yeah.
But, like, there are other parts where, like, you're like sneaking along and the dudes are just like talking to each other and they'll be speaking their language and then you'll see like subtitles. So there is that, but like it just really throws you off when you like see these like very Hispanic South American people or like speaking perfect English.
Yeah.
Which is interesting they went for that in this one, because in the last, like, the Rise, like, they all sounded like they were from Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of where they, like, went, like, hardcore with, like, the Aztec, like, and Mayan, like, with, like, they're talking it, but then it's like, yeah, fuck it. These guys just speak perfect English. And it's like, okay, but you went, like, the other games, you, like, went and, whatever, but it doesn't detract too much. It's just kind of like, at first, like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense, but it didn't, I don't know, it didn't ruin it for me.
It's just weird. It threw me off. I'd give Sound of Music an 8.
Really? I'm going to give it a 9. The shock on my face when that chick like talked the first time, it was
Yeah.
like, it's
Dude, that is
definitely
pretty
worth
fucking-
it, because it's cool. It's so dope.
It is rad. Yeah.
Like, it's just sweet.
Yeah.
They didn't have to go that hard, and they
Oh
did.
man, when you first see her, she like screams, and it's like this guttural
Yeah.
fucking monster sound, and it's like, okay.
I fucked up.
It's like, yeah, she like comes out of nowhere, and you're like, oh, that's a creepy looking bitch, and then she like points at you, she's like,
Doesn't she scream after she lets you in though? Like,
no, like when she like crosses the threshold of like the doors, like they all go silent and just stand there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But after you find the boxes gone, she just looks at you and just, and you're like, ah, because you're like, oh, I feel like I fucked up.
Fuck.
Yeah. All right, what about the graphics and design of this bad boy? I think it looked pretty good,
10,
personally. But...
10 for Lara Croft.
10 for that ass.
No, like for real, I'll give it a 10. The designs are dope. I actually bought the art book for this, and so I was
nice.
looking through that, and like
Nice.
the designs are rad. They stayed very, very like traditional and very close to what like the Aztecs would have worn, like what we see from history. That was cool. The temples look it was sweet, like all the Mayan design. Even when they go to Christianity, like it's old, like those old like Easter, like the European designs for that.
They had like the old paintings and murals like on the walls
Yeah.
of the church and stuff that looked pretty sweet, and they even had like the paint wearing like on there,
Yeah.
and like it was like chipping and stuff. There's like a lot of really good stuff in the game. I think I'd give it a 9 just because like there are parts when they're talking where like the facial animations are like kind of weird.
Yeah, they get a little wonky.
Like the lips moving is like it's not synced very well to the sound, so it like looks awkward, like really awkward.
Is it as awkward as Horizon Zero Dawn? Like,
No, it's not quite as awkward as that, because like she looks like she belongs.
in an asylum?
Yeah. But no, it's nowhere near as bad as that. But there is like some of that in there.
Okay. Yeah, I think it looks great personally, and the backgrounds, the environments look really cool too. Like it looks.
It's pretty. It's a pretty game.
There's also some moments where like it kind of has that the old animation style stuff where like static animation will just be like kind of flat looking, but then like everything that's gonna move is like has more vibrant color to it.
Yeah.
There's a kind of bit of that in this as well.
Oh.
Like there's a part where near the end where she like stabs a guy like right after the boat, like before the fire thing, where she like stabs a dude. Where it's like the first part where she only has that knife for a while.
Right.
She kills that fucking guy, and then she hears the dude's like coming, and then it like zooms onto her again.
That was me.
And the dude like
She heard
has
me.
less color immediately, and he's like ecstatic, and he's like he has like more. The graphics on him look better because he's no longer a moving thing.
Oh,
So
got
like
it.
he becomes part of the environment a little bit. So it's like
So it's weird.
In that cutscene, he has like more depth a little bit.
That's so
she
weird.
does when she's like laying right next to him.
It's so weird when games do that, where like you'll have like the high def guys, and those are the important ones, and then everyone else kind of looks like dog shit. It's like there's just throw in like a bunch of villagers that all look the same.
It's not super noticeable, but I like did look at it, and I was like, oh, that's kind of weird.
Is it like the painting in fucking House of the Dead?
It's not quite that bad, but
You're like, what am I fucking? What are my eyes witnessing?
yeah, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. All right.
For one of the game design things, real quick, I like how the villain looks at the end when he like he puts like all this like ancient like Aztec like shit on.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna be a god, and it just looks dope as shit. Because like
Nice.
so like the helmet he has in that trailer, that's what the helmet he has at the end,
Oh,
and it
cool.
just looks cool. Like he looks badass, and they did a really good job with that. I thought.
Yeah, the costumes are pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, the final category. Some might argue the most important category: replayability. Do you want to play it again, or are there reasons to play it again? Did you play it again?
I think in the future I'd probably play it again. It's a short enough game that's an option. You know, it's not like one of those like super long games where you kind of want to play it again, but at the same time it's like, but it's like 60 hours.
Yeah.
Do I really want to? With it being like 9 or 10 hours, it's like, yeah, I could do it. Plus, there is a lot of replay value in there because there's New Game Plus, a lot of extra trophies to do. There's like an online multiplayer. There's
a lot of the tombs and things to find as
there's
well.
a lot of
upgrades you can
collectibles.
get.
And there's like I guess there's an aspect that Brandy was telling us about with the New Game Plus that allows you to like choose a specific ability path to like focus on.
Oh, okay.
And then when you do that, you like get a special weapon for going around that path, and
Sick.
it's specifically for like New Game Plus.
Okay.
So there is a lot of value in the replay. Because you can go do all those things again. You can play the game with like all your shit. You can do online multiplayer.
Did you guys
There's
try the
side
online?
missions.
Specific path? There's like side missions
Do
to
what?
do.
Did you try the online? Just curious.
No.
I have
didn't.
played it for the original one, but I didn't play it for this one.
Okay.
No, I didn't know.
It's like a faster Gears of War.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because it's still like a cover-based combat kind of
Yeah,
deal,
yeah.
but you have like the 4 weapons or whatever, so it's like gets quickly swap between them. So it's kind of like it has a little bit of the Last of Us feel to it, with like Gears of War in there.
Oh,
so it's like a weird mix of those two things.
It's like Last of Us if they weren't all homeless people.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think the maps
Very
are as
nice.
big either.
Okay.
But there's a lot of areas for you to like hide in grass and stuff, to, like stealth kill dudes and all sorts of shit available to do in that game.
Nice. All right, what are you going to give it?
I'll give it a 10 for replayability. The gameplay is fun enough. If you like stealth games, it's even better. There's a lot of replay value and stuff to like. There's a lot of collectibles in the game. There's apparently weapons you can only get by doing New Game Plus. There's the multiplayer aspect, and then there's a collectible, or like there's a bunch of different outfits for Lara as well.
Okay.
That have different abilities and stuff. And as you go through tombs, you can basically restore them to their full power, and so they have like different abilities. And some of the ones that'll give you like, oh, you have more resistance to being shot with like bows and arrows and bullets, and then you like get more rewards for killing dudes while in stealth, stuff like that. So there's a lot to give you motivation to do another playthrough.
I give it a 10 as well. I'm definitely going to replay this. I want to go through on like 100% all the maps,
Okay.
all the tombs and stuff.
Yeah, and you know what? Beating it gave me like 34 trophies.
Yeah.
I wasn't really trying to do anything. It just fucking throws trophies at you.
That's the game design on that one's backwards.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. Doesn't really matter, just for the points.
All right, awesome. Yeah, that's all right. Final thoughts on Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
That's fun. I'd play it. I mean, if you're interested, I would definitely pick up this trilogy because it's not super expensive.
I would say go for the trilogy as well because it's a fun series. Surprisingly so. Like I thought it was just gonna be like standard fare kind of thing, but no, it's way better than I thought it was gonna be. Especially Rise of the Tomb Raider. Like I was blown away. And this game is a really good stealth game. Despite like some of the issues we have from it being like a third game in a series, taking away some features we've like previously had. But I mean, viewing it on its own as a stealth game, it's still pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah, like it's the weakest in the trilogy, but the trilogy is damn good.
Yeah,
and like saying it's the weakest isn't like a bad thing.
Yeah, it's like saying Diablo 3 is the worst Diablo.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like it's pretty fucking good. So
yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, okay. All right, so I'm going to recap the scores here. We got 8 across the board for story, 8 for Craig for gameplay, 7 from Zach. Sound and music, 8 for Craig, 9 for Zach. Graphics and design, 9 for Craig, 10 for Zach. Replayability, 10s across the board for a total 43 out of 50 from Craig, 44 out of 50 from Zach. For a combined 87 out of 100. The Metacritic is 75 out of 100 for PS4.
Oh, Metacritic sucks.
Yeah, you guys plus 12 on that spread. That's crazy.
Man.
Maybe we just think that Lara is hotter than they do. I don't know.
Yeah.
We have taste. Metacritic doesn't.
Yeah.
It's okay.
She is pretty...
I can see them being a little harsher on story than we were because, like, compared to the other games, it has less in that area.
Right.
And it's, like, way shorter, and they do rely way more heavily on doing side stuff.
But see, like, if you look at the Xbox, isn't the Xbox one, like, 80, 82?
82 for Xbox One.
So,
yeah.
like, I wonder what the discrepancy with that one is between PS4 and Xbox.
I don't know.
Maybe it's the Xbox people being like, it's way better on Xbox.
Yeah, it could be.
Maybe. Or just the people that reviewed it on there just happened to have liked it more.
Maybe, yeah.
I think as well, like, I played these all back to back to back, and so, like, I really, like, stoked on the story. Like,
Yeah.
as a whole.
Yeah. So that'll change your opinion for sure, because these guys probably played it.
Yeah, we
years
probably
apart.
played the first level.
When you stack them on top of each other, like you start getting the hints because like on the third one, it's like everything comes to a head with the Trinity thing, whereas like in the first and second game, you were getting hints of Trinity here and there, as like because they were like part of it, but they also weren't.
Yeah.
But they were like kind of like the background puppeteers going on, and then you finally get to them, and then
So this is the payoff.
yeah, it's the payoff.
All right. Nice. Yeah, I kind of want to play these games. They look really interesting. I mean, I like the stealth aspect, the sound of the stealth aspect in this one. And I like a good action game with a good story, and a smoking ass character. So hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say definitely go for it. Like they're not very expensive to get like the ultimate editions of each of them. The Rise of the Tomb Raider was free for PlayStation Plus, so you can pick up like the first game for like $10.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
And then Shadow of the Tomb Raider for like $30.
Nice.
So yeah, it's
not a bad investment then. $40 for 3 games. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Yeah,
play it.
Awesome. Cool. You guys got any more thoughts? Or is that it? We're good?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good too.
All right, awesome. Nude Clan, great podcast. Support us. You know, you love it, so give us your fucking money. You know? That's all we're asking for. We're not asking for much. Just
your money.
Just your monies.
All of it.
All, yes. Speaking of asking and receiving money, we have a new patron we would like to thank. So thank you very much, so very much, to our new and good friend. How can you be new and a good friend? You just can. Robert. So thank you so much, Robert, for your recent... See, we're on a first-name basis already. Such good friends for your recent pledge. And thank you to all of our patrons who donate to the Nude Clan. We really appreciate it. Helps keeps the lights on over here. Yeah, check out our other podcasts. Ultima Final Fantasy, the ultimate Final Fantasy podcast, going through all the FF games. Puff Puff Hour, a Dragon Quest podcast. Caleb Craig and a couple of our other buddies playing through the main Dragon Quest series. We've got For a Few Chickens More, A Song of Schweiss and Johnson, me and my buddy James watching and talking about all of the Game of Thrones episodes. And then, of course, the Godzilla podcast, former host Joe and his friend Drew going through and commentating over every Godzilla film made. Guys, check those out, and please leave us a review. Tell your friends. I don't know. Fucking just do whatever you want. Keep listening. Give us your goddamn money. audibletrial.com/Nude Clan. That is where you can help us. Maybe help us with money. I don't know. Some say that these affiliates do help. They certainly don't support, but they assist. I believe is the
in a manner
is the verb. Yeah, in some way.
Big way.
Not necessarily financial, but potentially financial. We also have an Amazon thing on the Discord, which, guys, if you're not on the Discord yet, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Get on our Discord. We have it on my Twitter and the show's Twitter. The show's Twitter is, of course, at Nude Clan Podcast. Mine is at UFF Podcast.
Mine is at Obsidian Ba.
Me at B Grixis.
And Cameron at
Nude Clan Cam.
Nude Clan Cam, yeah. Nude Clan not here.
Nude Clan Camera.
Yeah. That would have been a good one, yeah. I like Nude Clan Clam, too.
Nude Clan Clan.
Yeah. Just pry that fucker open and find that pearl.
Ooh.
Yeah. Please follow us there. Get our good stuff. We've got a YouTube channel. I don't think we have a custom URL yet because we don't have enough followers on there. But please help us out so we can get that fucker. Just search Nude Clan on YouTube. And also Twitch. Twitch.tv/Nude Clan Gaming is where you can find us streaming our episodes live every week. Unless we don't record, and then we don't stream, obviously. But
That
we
only
are here
happened
live.
once.
That's only ever happened once, yeah. We are
We
streaming
ended
it
up
here.
streaming online, though. Still.
That's true. We did stream some Fall Guys. And I plan on streaming some Last of Us 2 tomorrow, because I will be finishing Suikoden, I hope today, but we'll see. So yeah, join me for that. That'll be my Monday night stream of Last of Us Part 2. So guys, thank you so much for hanging out for this episode of Nude Clan, and until next time,
Enjoy the nude.
Lara Croft's a babe.
live always in the nude.
Yeah!